Hey, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another FA Cup game. We've just done Everton against Sunderland this morning, this lunchtime. That one went to all the distance. It went the way, the full distance rather. Same as Wrexham did last night. And we ended up with penalties in the Everton-Sunderland game. Same as we did last night in the Wrexham-Forest game. And Sunderland came out winners. So now we've got Tottenham against Aston Villa, two Premier League sides. I've been keeping abreast of all the AFCON games that's going on. Nigeria look like they're sailing through. It looks like Algeria are all over the place, to be honest, in that one. Nigeria 2-0 up against Algeria. I fancy the North African sides to go out tonight. I actually think Ivory Coast will send Mo Salah back to Liverpool tonight with a bit of luck. But I'm keeping one eye on the FA Cup. There's been some interesting results throughout the day in the FA Cup. Not just, obviously, earlier this afternoon with the Everton-Sunderland game. Palace crashing out. Don't know if you caught up with that one earlier, but Crystal Palace crashing out of the FA Cup this morning to Macclesfield. Macclesfield, non-league Macclesfield, who are in National League North. It's the first time ever it's 1909, I think, is the last time it happened, that the FA Cup holders have gone out to a non-league side. So Macclesfield winning 2-1 against holders Crystal Palace. Wolves beating Shrewsbury 6-1. Fulham beat Borough 3-1. Ipswich 2, Blackpool 1. Burnley smashing Millwall 5-1. That was an interesting scoreline. Manchester City 10, Exeter 1. Erling Haaland didn't get any one of those 10, funnily enough. He only played for 45 minutes, but Erling Haaland didn't get on the score sheet today. 10 goals for Manchester City. And Semenyo did score. Semenyo scored on his debut for Manchester City. Brentford beat Sheffield Wednesday quite comfortably. Stoke knocking Coventry City out. What about that? Stoke, the Potters, beating Coventry City. That's an interesting one. And then not only that, we've now got Newcastle Bournemouth, which is only 15 minutes away from penalties itself. So I'm keeping an eye out on Bournemouth and Newcastle. It's at St James's Park, so I'm going to keep an eye out on that one while we are waiting, because there's only 25 minutes or so to the Spurs-Villa game. We are obviously doing the Spurs. We will focus heavily on the Spurs-Villa game, of course. But Newcastle against Bournemouth. Is that on any channels? I don't know if it is it? Is it on anywhere? Bournemouth-Newcastle? I don't think it is it? Bournemouth-Newcastle not on anywhere? What a shame if it's not. Can anyone tell me if Bournemouth-Newcastle is on anywhere? Because I'll put it on if we can. I don't know if it is. I'd quite like to watch the last 15 minutes while we're building up to this. I've been watching the AFCON, but I'd quite like to watch, because that one feels like it's died on its arse, the AFCON game. Welsh Jack says Tottenham resting too many players. This should be an easy win for Villa. Evening Key, City as well. Yeah, City smashed it. None of the 3 o'clock games apparently being shown on telly. What a shame. Rohale, good afternoon. How's it going, Key? Good to see you. Jake says, hi, Key. Palace lose to a National League team. Biggest cup upset in history. Not quite the biggest cup upset, but probably not far off. Scottish, how's it going? Creed Van Crow, good to see you. La Pulga, great to see you too, mate. Stuart Carr, good to see you back in the chat, Stuart. Good to have you on the channel, mate. Really, really good to have you in. Who else have we got going? Sorry, let me just catch up with everyone. I don't want to miss anyone out. Sarah, brilliant to see you as always. Isaac, how's it going, Isaac? And Daria, I think Tottenham will win this one 2-0. Callum, you didn't do a Grimsby Western Supermer. No, not quite. Not quite. Chabatuani says if Spurs lose, their supporters will run Richarlison out of town all the way back to Merseyside. Listen, quite a few Everton fans would be quite happy with that, I'm sure. Welsh Jack thinks this one's going to be 3-0 to Villa. Baz thinks you could see the goals, big moments at 3pms on TNT. Oh, okay, well, hey, maybe we put TNT on then, because I'll be honest, there's only really, of the 3pms, there's only the Newcastle-Bournemouth game that's gone to extra time. So, yeah, maybe we keep an eye out on TNT Sports 1. Live FA Cup football, Tottenham v Villa. Yeah, we'll just watch it on this, why not? The goal show. Is the goal show on? Come on, Key, sort yourself out. Oh, there you go. Live FA Cup goal show. Oh, hey, Serie A's on as well. Who's playing in Serie A? that Roma Sassuolo? Are Roma playing now? Oh, yeah, of course they are. Roma Sassuolo's on. Yeah, we're not watching that. We'll keep an eye out for Newcastle Bournemouth anyway. Stuart Carr says, I love your channel. Cheers, Stuart. We love you too. La Pulga, Semenyo, first player since Aguero to score and assist on their Man City debut. I didn't know he got an assist. That's not bad. But yeah, good signing. Malik G, how's it going, Malik? Good to see you, mate. Good to have you on back on the channel. Wally, Algeria 0 XG to 2.68. Nigeria flying in that one. I think it's going to be all of the North African sides going out. I thought Cameroon might do Morocco last night, to be honest, but Morocco, the hosts, you can never really back against them. But Nigeria are backed to beat Algeria, and I do think Ivory Coast send Mo Salah home today. Sarah, he was playing against Exeter. Well, he was, but still. You can only beat who's in front of you, I guess. Rohale says, could Man City's new signings help them get that Premier League title, perhaps? Well, there's only really Semenyo. They've brought a couple of the younger lads back in. Max Elaine scored on his return back to the team today. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess City are going to have to do some more signings to start feeling like a proper title challenger again. Steve McNair says, hey all, how's it going? Thanks for the stream key. What action have we got on this one? Well, do you know what? And I was going to have a little look. We're going to have to be very cautious what we say because I don't want to get another 72-hour suspension anywhere. But, yeah, I was having a little look to see what might be worth looking at for this one. Philippines, always good to see you, Key, my friend. You too, mate. Great to see you too. Celtic got a good win today, didn't they? I don't think I am going to do the Charlton-Chelsea game later. Something tells me that Charlton not necessarily won't take it seriously, but I think Chelsea will probably be 1 or 2 up early in that game, and it'll be a bit of a dead rubber after it. Malik, how are you doing today, Key? I'm very good. Yeah, it was a good game earlier today. We watched Sunderland Everton. Yeah, very, very good game. And then obviously now Spurs Villa. Don't really know what to make of this one. We'll have to have a little look at the lineups. Let me just keep an eye out for the lineups. Newcastle Bournemouth is heading to pens, it's looking like. There's only sort of 8 minutes left in that one. Right, Tottenham Aston Villa. Here we go, lineups. They are on the screen here in a minute if you want to have a look at them yourself. But we've got Vicario in goal for Spurs, Pedro Porro right back, Danzo, Van der Ven and Davis at the back. Obviously, Romero suspended. I think he got an additional suspension and a fine after his behaviour being sent off against Liverpool. Then it's Palhinha, Archie Gray, Xavi Simons in the midfield three. And then it's Odegaard off the right, Matthijs Tel off the left and Richarlison as the lone centre-forward for Spurs. Is that a heavily rotated... Would we call that a heavily rotated Spurs side? I'm not sure. I mean, I look at the Spurs bench. There's Jed Spence on there. Maybe he starts. Kolo Muani, again, maybe in a first-choice Spurs 11. Maybe he starts. But other than that, Solanke, Udogie, Williams, Barnett, Dane Scarlett, Dragoshin and Byfield. There's not an awful lot of... Yeah, I think that's probably about as strong as Spurs could go today. For Aston Villa, it's Bezo in goal. So there you go. There's one change. Martinez has been dropped, or I don't know if he's injured. Actually, he's not even on the bench. Martinez. So it's Bezo in goal. Martson, Torres, Konza, Cash. Strong Villa defence. Then it's Kamara, Bohada, and I don't know if it's going to be Rodgers, McGinn. But there you go. It's Bohada and Kamara sitting. And then it's McGinn, Rodgers, Buendia just behind Daniel Marlin. So again, Ollie Watkins on the bench, Tielemans, Sancho, Mings, Lindelof, Digne, Garcia. They've got ability on the bench. We're into the last 30 seconds there. Newcastle Bournemouth, they are showing it now. Is it on TNT? No, they're not showing it at all anywhere. I thought it might be. Scottish GHK, football is great, but friends and family are a big part of your team. Reach out and make everyone's life better. You never know when they'll be gone. Mate, that's a really, really lovely sentiment. I agree with that massively. Yeah. I think we can all get behind that. Thank you very much for the super chat as well, mate. Very, very kind of you. Honor Permo says 43%. Tottenham, 50% think Aston Villa win. I think this one might be another one of them, a little bit like Sunderland Everton earlier today, that we might actually get. Maybe this one goes to extra time and penalties. I do. I think there's going to be a chance that this one. A chance. What did Abhishek say? I didn't even see what he said. I just saw it. Fair play. On a permo, what game is going to penalties? It looks like it's going to be Newcastle Bournemouth going to pens. It's 2-2 currently. It's the only game that did go to penalties. Apart from Everton Sunderland earlier today, which we watched. Doncaster Southampton was a really good game. Stuart Carr, have you seen the Fulham game? 3-1 to them. Yeah, Fulham beating Borough 3-1. Burnley. Everyone thought Millwall might get a decent result against Burnley today at Turf Moor, but yeah, Burnley winning that one 5-1. On a permo says I can't see it with this Spurs side right now. Nor I. And Sarah said he's gone. I know. Yeah. On a permo makes a difference from being your own mum. Liam, hi Key, are you watching Arsenal v Portsmouth tomorrow? I'm not. No, I am absolutely not. I'm absolutely not watching Arsenal Portsmouth. Tomorrow, I am only doing 2 games. I was going to do Derby County Leeds, but I think I'm going to give that one a miss. I think we're instead going to do Manchester United against Brighton, and then we're going to do Barca Real Madrid in the Supercopa de España. Yeah, in Jeddah, in Saudi Arabia. Rohale says, Key, I'm moving house. I'm going to Macclesfield once I find out where it is. You're not going because of Crystal Palace getting beat there today, are you? Leo Callum says Tamworth held these last season for a while. Spurs, they did, yeah. I know, but that was Ange, wasn't it? That was Ange's Spurs. The Anfield 90. How's it going, mate? Been meaning to come and have a listen. Love it. Cheers, mate. Lots of love to Anfield 90. Go and check them out on TikTok. Great guys. Mason Longley says, what's your score prediction, Key? My score prediction for this one is 2-2. I think we're going to get goals in this. Even though that's totally against what I said the other day when I said I think it might be a tight and close game, maybe 1-0 either way. I think we're going to get goals. I'm going to go 2-2. Stuart Carr thinks there's going to be goals too. He thinks 4-2 to Villa. And Jake thinks, what's worse, Man U losing to Grimsby in the Cup or our loss to Plymouth last season in the Cup or Palace losing to a National League side? It's definitely Palace. It's definitely Palace. And Jabber says, it's who they were, mate. Well, yeah. Listen, to be honest, it wouldn't be surprising if Spurs got their arse handed to them by Villa today. Villa are a really strong side. Spurs not in a particularly happy place, I guess. Is this a Semenyo goal? No. Oh, that was a good finish. I think it's this one, isn't it? The Semenyo goal, is it? Oh, what a header that was. Who got the 9th for City? Makedo. I think the Semenyo goal was number 7, wasn't it? Was it one that put City 7-0 up? What a strike from Exeter, by the way. Harry Cannell says, do you think Pau Torres will commit a foul? Oh, I can sense a bet builder there. I don't know, mate. I wouldn't say. I couldn't say. Did Semenyo score? He did, yes. He did on a permo, yeah. Semenyo did score. Malik says, how many years have you supported Liverpool? All my life, mate, yeah. 30 odd years. I'm 35 now. So I've been watching football since I was about 4. I remember vaguely the FIFA 94 World Cup. I remember watching bits of that with my dad. I remember Euro 96 vividly. I remember falling in love with Robbie Fowler and Liverpool then. And my dad is an ardent Liverpool fan. He's been watching Liverpool home and away since 1972. So, I've been a Liverpool fan for 30 odd years. Welsh Wing says, Exeter should be ashamed of themselves. And Creed Van Kroos says, has anyone had a bigger turnaround in form better than Wirtz this season? He looks proper settled now. Oh, they've not won it, have they? They've not won it. Harvey Barnes, 3-2, last kick of the game. Oh, Harvey Barnes. I tell you what, he has got a habit. He is going to be an absolutely unbelievable... Oh, Harvey Barnes. Do we think there's a chance he gets called up to England or Scotland? I mean, it feels like Scotland at this point. Harvey Barnes. He did it midweek against Leeds and he's done it again. Oh my God. Scottish GHK, Martin O'Neill. What a guy from a Hearts fan. I've always liked Martin O'Neill. Coming back in. And good result for them today against Dundee United, wasn't it? Rohale says, I vaguely remember Baggio missing that penalty in the final of the World Cup. And UFC Isaac, he's only gone and done it. And Jabbert says, City can have the cup if they give the league a rest again. I think, listen, Pep Guardiola's not going to want to just take the FA Cup. He's going to go balls out the bath for both of them, I think. So, I remember that was at Italia 90. Italia 90 was Toto Schillaci, wasn't it? It was the... I wasn't around for Italia 90. Well, I was around for it, but I was a babe in arms. I don't really remember Italia 90. Lucas says, opinions on Sunderland v Everton. Yeah, we watched that one, mate. It was a really good game. I thought it was a fabulous game. At least, maybe not a fabulous game to watch. It was an old school, both teams kind of very direct, but it wasn't boring. I didn't think it was boring. There was a lot of direct running, certainly from Sunderland. Romain Mundle had a really good go. Quite a few times he drove at the heart of the box and had a shot from outside the area. Pickford had to save a few. Overhead kick from Sunderland was a mad one that nearly went in. Couple of chances that Everton hit just wide as well. A penalty decision that I don't think was a penalty at all, but it gets a late penalty decision, brings drama and excitement, and Everton get back in the game, maybe in a way that they don't deserve to, but they still did. I thought it was a good spectacle, let's say. Wrexham and Forest was 3-3 last night, and on the face of it, when you think, 3-3, I don't think that was really all that different in maybe more goals, but it was actually not that different to the Sunderland-Everton game today. Very, very little going on. Honor Permo says, hopefully he does it for Scotland at the World Cup, Harvey Barnes. And Jake says, who do you think is the biggest cup upset in history? There's a few. There really is a few. I mean, yeah, there's an awful lot. I mean, to be honest, the Macclesfield Crystal Palace one today would be up there. But you can go right far back to Radford and beyond. There's absolutely loads of them. Welsh Ring says, I've been trying to catch up with all the games today, but unfortunately my mother is severely ill in hospital for the past 2 months now and I'm all over the place. Oh, mate, listen. Sending love. That's awful. Yeah, start of the year, mate. Not well, again, it's never... Fucking hell. Bournemouth have equalised. I've never quite thought there's a well, it's not a great time of year to lose any family member, or for a family member to be ill, but always around Christmas it just feels worse, doesn't it? So, mate, massive love to you and your family and everything, and hopefully she gets out and on her feet in the next few weeks, few days, however long it takes. But hopefully it's a better time for you coming up soon. Jabbert says Sunderland well deserved the win. The shootout was peak embarrassment. And Vincent Jamie Lane says, don't you know, pump it up. The Posh are going up. Yeah, Peterborough with a big win over Bolton today, wasn't it? Fucking Bolton. But sorry, Bournemouth equalising. That Newcastle game is all over the place, isn't it? As if that's a 3 o'clock kickoff. That would have been perfect for this channel. Stuart Carr says Liverpool are not good at the moment. I still love them. Love that, Stuart. Marcus Tavernier with the goal for Bournemouth, and that one does take it to penalties. I'm pretty confident now. Great win for City, says Ethan. Rohale says there's nothing as bad as a mother being unwell. Nothing for me even compares to that. Yeah, it's always sad, mate. It is. It's incredibly sad, and hopefully, like I said, better times ahead, mate. I'm rooting for you. I really am. Permo says Newcastle defence is weak. Well, to be honest, the 2 minutes are up now and it is going to go to penalties, I'm sure. There's only 6 minutes to go until the Spurs-Villa game kicks off. But this one is, I'm sure, going to penalties, so we'll stay with it for as long as we can anyway. The Tav's doing the business. Apparently, Dominic Szoboszlai agreed a new contract with Liverpool. How true that is, I don't know, but there you go. Carl says, did someone really just say great win for City? It was a great win for City. 10-1's not bad. Here's the Stoke-Coventry goal. Stoke won it 1-0 against Coventry. Let's see this one. Oh my God, no way. Oh my God, what a goal that was. Absolutely unbelievable, that. What a strike that was. Ball comes out. It's a little bit like, do you remember the Peter Crouch goal for Stoke? It was a little bit like that. The ball comes to him. That's an absolutely outrageous strike. Dipping. Keeper has absolutely no chance. Who is it who does this? Is it Cisse? Absolutely unbelievable goal, that. Lamine Cisse. Another young French player who they've signed. They brought in from Ligue 1. He's done really well. Lamine Cisse, good signing. La Pulga says Gordon is world class at diving, and Vincent Jamie Lane only 4 points off the playoffs now for Peterborough. Future captain Szoboszlai, says Tony Peters, and Honor Pergo says what games are on tomorrow. So tomorrow, there's Derby County against Leeds, which is at 12 o'clock. I'm not doing that game anymore. I was going to do it, but I'm not going to bother. I'm instead going to do Manchester United against Brighton, 4:30pm kickoff, and then straight after that, we're basically just going to go all the way through from about 3:30 all the way to about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Soon as Man United Brighton has finished, Barcelona Real Madrid in the Supercopa de España. That one's out in Saudi Arabia, and I'll be watching that one straight after. So if you fancy a back-to-back watch-alongs tomorrow, then stick with me. I Am Crute says Lamine Cisse, best Lamine in the world. Yeah, we'll be watching a Lamine tomorrow, won't we? Welsh Wing says, did Fulham win today? Yep. Fulham 3, Borough 1 it was today. Right, I'm gonna do a shot in the dark for Tottenham Villa. We're gonna do a total and utter shot in the dark. Right, so we're gonna go for. Oh, you can't even do a goalkeeper saves market or a shots on target market. How shocking is that? Can't do a shots on target market. Jake says, what's the Barca v Madrid on tomorrow? I think it's on TNT. Yeah, I think it's TNT. Oh, it's not even worth thingy in that. Yeah, shocking. Tony says, who do you think will win that key, Barca or Madrid? Hope it's Barca. I think it's Barca, mate. I can't see past Barca in that one. Yeah, I can't see past them doing it. I Am Crute says, hopefully. Yeah, well, yeah, no. I was going to say, maybe I'll not mention that word again, Will. I'll stop using that word. Rohale says, which Madrid are Barca facing? Atletico or Real Madrid tomorrow. Right, penalties here for Newcastle and Bournemouth. There's 2 minutes to kick off in the Spurs game. So we'll stick with this one for as long as we possibly can. Anthony Gordon's going to take the first pen for Newcastle. Listen, if this one is anything like the Everton-Sunderland penalties, this one will be over in a second. This one will be over very quickly. Anthony Gordon, right-footed penalty. He's already scored a penalty in this game to make it 2-2. He got Newcastle back in the game with the last kick of the game, with a penalty. Right-footed Gordon sends the keeper the wrong way. Good pen, that 1-0. 3-star, I can understand you're not picking the derby game, Key. We like entertaining football. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's more to do with the fact that I think Leeds should win that one. And also, I think it's going to be a low interest game. Yeah, trying to curate a good game. So I think tomorrow we'll see better in the Man United v Brighton game, and then obviously the Real Madrid Barcelona game straight after that. Stuart Carr says, "Do you have an Xbox?" I don't. No, I don't. I don't play on Xbox. Evan Nilsson, left-footed, good pen, very good pen. Yeah, I don't play Xbox. I do have an Xbox controller here though, which I do play with on the laptop very occasionally, and I do mean very. Like, I'll have Red Dead Redemption. I'll have a game of Red Dead Redemption once in a blue moon. I genuinely don't think I've played Red Dead Redemption in the last 12 months though. Doing this channel, I'm live every single night, so I don't have the time anymore. Which is no bad thing. I still watch footy for a living, which is good. Voltamada, right-footed, penalty for Newcastle, second pen. Spurs Villa game's just about to get underway. We'll switch over to that. Voltamada, right-footed, off the bar. Oh no. Oh, Voltamada misses. It's a shocking pen. It's an absolutely shocking pen. It's too choreographed, that. That was very similar to the Everton pens, that. The Beto pen earlier was a lot like that, and the Barry pen. It's too... I don't understand these casual, slow run-ups. Voltamada off the crossbar. Unforgivable, that. Oh, I thought Evan Nilsson took the first. I could be wrong. Well, it must have been wrong, because Evan Nilsson's now taking the second. Evan Nilsson. Oh, saved. He saved it. Right, Tottenham's off and underway. On a permo, I'm about 15 seconds in front of you. I'll keep quiet. And Jabbert, I can't wait to forget about that shootout. Well, do you know what? There was definite shades of the Fulham penalty that Onana missed. That's what I thought it felt like when Onana missed the penalty for Everton against Fulham. I think was that the Carabao Cup quarter-final or the FA Cup quarter-final not that long ago. Felt like Everton had a really good chance of going far in that competition, and Onana took a stupid penalty. Right, Xavi Simons is down here. Has Bruno Guimaraes just missed? Oh, Bristol City 1, Watford 0. Poor that from Bruno. Well, as it stands, both teams not having a great time on the penalties. Sam says, "Hey Key, routine win today. Good win for Wolves. Yeah, very good win." Lewis Cook, lucky boy. Ramsdale should have saved that one, shouldn't he? Is Xavi Simons up yet? I think Xavi Simons might still be down on the turf here at Spurs. Absolutely shocker of a pen from Bruno, that. No, we're back on. We're back on and playing now. We're back on. Right, sorry TikTok, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. Emile Rees it was who scored, by the way, for Bristol City against Watford. I am Crute says, Fenerbahce beat Galatasaray, so I'm sure we'll see some riots at some point this weekend. Love Turkish football. Newcastle had a very good side, as good as most teams when they're at their best. Certainly at St James's, yeah. And Sam says, Man City 10-1. I know, yeah. Very, very interesting game, that one. 10-1. So Tonali's just scored for Newcastle. Good pen. Malik says, where are you from, Key? I am from the northwest of England. I was born in a place called St Helens, which is about 20 minutes from Anfield. Yeah. I was born in Wiston. Grew up in St Helens. I've moved around a little bit in the years since. Lived in Liverpool for a bit, lived in Manchester for a bit, worked and lived in both. But yeah, generally kind of around the northwest of England. Steve says, I still don't have a thing where you can consolidate all the chat, eh? No, sadly not, no. I don't think there is such a thing that exists, to be honest, mate. I have chat that comes in from TikTok, chat that comes in from... Oh, Bournemouth have missed it. Chat that comes in from YouTube, chat that comes in from Twitch. It all kind of comes in everywhere. You may say Turkish football is a riot. Well, plenty would. I think that's a fair assessment. I am Crute says, Key, if Bournemouth win, we have to defend our Eddie Howe to United shouts even harder. Yeah, I think that's fair. Very fair. Creed says, I'm from Chorley, Key, if you know it. Of course I know where Chorley is. Coming in your ears. Chorley FM. On a permo, I don't mind some booing if a player swings cats about by the tail or if it's a player from a rival playing at another team you're playing. Stuart Carr says, do you like the darts? Not quite. No, not quite. I'm not really a lover of the darts. Mike says, I'm a United fan and wouldn't touch Howe at all. He's hit his ceiling with Newcastle. Great penalty from Joe Linton, by the way. This Spurs Villa game in the opening 5 minutes has been riddled with injuries. Boubacar Kamara looks like he's limping off here. I think we might need a substitution in the Spurs Villa game, potentially. Two players go down already. Xavi Simons in the first couple of minutes, and now Boubacar Kamara for Villa. Now Bournemouth have to score. Otherwise, it's game set. Eric Okogdu says, the game was killing me. Which one? Steve, Turkey, also Greece have amazing crowds. Definitely want to leave the wife and kids at home, though. Yeah. Good pen, that. Very good pen from Senesi. I am Crute says, did the Salford game get cancelled? The Salford game... Salford was... Swindon, yeah. Salford-Swindon was postponed. So I think that one will be maybe later in the week. Tony Peter says, what's the score, Key? The score is, in this one, finished 3-3. Newcastle 3, Bournemouth 3. And it's a penalty shootout now. Both teams, I think it's finished, is it 3-3 after 5 penalties each? Lewis Hall's just scored, and we're in sudden death. Sudden death now. Boubacar Kamara still down on the turf in the Villa game, so there's still not really anything going on in the Spurs-Villa game, just as a heads up. We are still watching that, but there is nothing going on. Boubacar Kamara down, receiving treatment, and has been for the last minute or two. Ramsdale up against... It's Tavernier. Is it Tavernier, the goal scorer? Who is it who's taking this pen for Bournemouth? Ramsdale against... Yes, Tavernier. Marcus Tavernier. Right-footed. Good goal. Good pen. I think it was off the post, actually, that one. Oh, it was Hill. It's not even Tavernier. It's Hill. Sorry. It's Hill. Captain Spurs says, great. Incoming Rodgers goal. Well, I think... Spurs is now back underway. Yeah, Spurs back underway. And it's back with... back with Bezo in the Villa goal. Spurs pressing very, very high. It's got to be said. Villa trying to beat the press by playing over the top. Steve McNair says 0 upsets in the AFCON. Well, I mean, yeah, I think Nigeria beating Algeria wouldn't. I think that's about right. I didn't think we'd see. I think we see Algeria going through in that one. Roll Hale says Newcastle 3-3, another Magpie goal fest. Right, here we go. Bournemouth need to score. Does score as well. Good pen. Good pen. Honor Permo says, Jesus, is probably going to be a dive fest in the Villa Spurs game. I think everyone's flicking back and forth. Tielemans has just come on here for Kamara. Kamara's been subbed off. Injury early on in the game. That's a big, big loss for Aston Villa. Kamara, a very, very talented player who sits just in front of that defence and really shields it very well. He's been taken off for Yuri Tielemans. And Villa already starting to dominate the early stages of this game. Dominate possession. Keep an eye on that Newcastle shootout, though. Harvey Barnes has just scored for Newcastle, and now it's back over to Bournemouth. I think this one might make it all the way through to the keepers, this. We're already on the 8th players. This one might go through all the way to the keepers. Here's Adam Smith. Adam Smith, who's been at Bournemouth since the days of them being in League One. He's been at Bournemouth for a long, long time, this fella. Adam Smith, right-footed. Good pen. Very good pen, that. Very, very good pen. Ball's all the way back with Bezo for Villa. Stuart Card, I'll be back. No worries, Stuart. Take your time, mate. Yeah, we'll be here. 3-star says Villa have a player go off their injury and they throw Tielemans on. What a choice to have. It's not a bad choice, that is it. Here's Daniel Marlon. Cuts inside. Strike from distance. Smiles over the bar. Now, Malik Chow for Newcastle. Right-footed. Good pen. Very good pen again. Very, very good pen. Must be said. Algeria and Nigeria are about to finish as well. Right, here's Diakite to come up. Diakite is a new signing for Bournemouth this summer. He's got a lot of stick from the Cherries fans. You know, he came in as the replacement for Zabani or Hyson, whichever way you want to dress it up. Big centre-back signing. He's come in and he's not hit the ground running, but right peg, he's missed it. I built that one up, didn't I? Diakite misses. Newcastle go through. There you go. I did build that one up. Right, now we're back fully focused now. Fully focused on Tottenham Villa. We can watch Tottenham Villa now and relax. We don't have to worry about Newcastle Bournemouth. Newcastle go through on penalties. What an unbelievable end to that game. Newcastle finding the most stress-worthy way of winning. Rohale says, looking at the scores on the right-hand side, Coventry lost. Yeah, Coventry got beat by Stoke. Look at Spurs. What's going on with Spurs kit? Spurs in a weird all-white kit. Well, all white top, no blue on it. Odd that, innit? Rohale says, I think Newcastle could go the distance in this competition. Can never back against them, can you? It's a corner kick for Aston Villa here. Matty Cash goes over to take it. Jabba says, so a Newcastle-Sunderland tie is possible. It is, absolutely. It's eternally possible. And we'll see the draw on Monday. I'm going to be live for the draw on Monday before the Liverpool-Barnsley game. Excuse me. Yeah, Liverpool-Barnsley kicks off at 7:30, I think. The draw's at 6:30, so I'm going to be on very early for Liverpool-Barnsley. So if you want to join me for the draw, you're more than welcome to. Scottish GHK, Magpies taking the tricky route to the shiny stuff. And Honor Permo says, did Man United play today? No, Man United play Brighton tomorrow, mate. I'm live for Man United Brighton tomorrow. That one is at 4:30 kickoff. Spurs with a strike. Good save. Straight down the throat of Bezo, to be honest, from Odebear. But a good strike all the same. Callum said, Arsenal did before it was due to knife crime. Back then, wonder if it's the same. Ooh, maybe, yeah. I didn't realise. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Jacob says, Ivory Coast beating Egypt could be an upset. Would it qualify as an upset, do you think? Jacob says, this FA Cup ball is awful to look at. And I am Crute says, I really don't get why United fans don't want Eddie Howe. He's a top manager. If you go through every United manager since Ferguson, Howe is only bested by Van Gaal and Mourinho. That's fair. That's a fair point, I think, yeah. Jacob says, are you watching the Ivory Coast game? I can't watch the Ivory Coast game, sadly, purely because this one is a 5:30 kickoff, 5:45 kickoff. So if you think it's going to be 6:30, 6:45, it's going to be 7:30 before this game's finished. And it might even be maybe 8 o'clock, if maybe even 7:30 by the time it's finished, if it's penalties and extra time. Whereas, obviously, Egypt and Ivory Coast kicks off at 7 o'clock. So, yeah, I couldn't sadly do both games. Jacob, it's a tribute to a former player. No names on the Spurs kit either. Oh, okay. Cheers for that, Jacob. I didn't know that was the case. La Pulga says, Harvey Barnes is one weird player. Gotta say, scores in so many crucial games. But when you go back to him in a good run of fixtures, he fluffs it up. Well, he's got 2 massive goals for Newcastle in the last couple of games. Obviously, the winner against Leeds, late equaliser today against Bournemouth. Well, what should have been a late winner against Bournemouth, let's be honest. But yeah, he's so good lately. On a Perma, will you be wearing your United top tomorrow, Key? No chance. Come on, Brighton. We are all seagulls tomorrow, aren't we? Come on. Tony says, come on, Villa. Can't stand Spurs. Number 9, I won't even say his name. Oh, not a fan of Richie. Not a fan of the pigeon. Ronnie says, Lewis Lacey, who's Shea Lacey's brother, was quite good against Palace today. And Jabba says, United supporters talk like managers are falling over each other trying to get that job. Exactly. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. It's not necessarily the most desirable opportunity. It's always been a bit of a poison chalice since the Fergie days, hasn't it? And if anything, it feels even more so now. It's not got less over time. It's a very difficult job to go into. Especially given that the board, if rumours are to be believed, the board told Ruben Amorim what formation he needed to play. They instructed him to play a different way, and he said that absolutely won't be happening. And then that's why he had that outburst after the Leeds game where he said, I am not the coach, I am the manager. Just as a reminder, I am the manager, not the coach. So they can't tell me what to do, and if they do, then I'll leave. And that's what's happened. Egypt are the best team in the AFCON. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Ivory Coast, I think we'll beat them tonight. I fancy Mo Salah to be home sooner rather than later. It's going to be a goal kick for Aston Villa, that one. Scottish GHK says Harvey Barnes scores 3 games in a row, never more than that. And Rohale says, how nice is Macclesfield ground? I call it ground rather than stadium, low height, old school. Yeah, is it the Select Car Leasing Stadium? Is it that one? I can't remember what it was called. I was looking at it before. 2-0 to Stuttgart, says Davey, in the Bundesliga. And Honor Permo says hopefully he can do it for Scotland's 3 World Cup games. I'm telling you, that is going to happen. Harvey Barnes, as the season goes on, I've joked about it, but I do think it will start to happen. You'll start to hear rumours about Harvey Barnes maybe becoming Scottish, becoming more Scottish. He'll start donning a kilt and wearing... He'll start drinking Iron Brew at the training ground. Turning up drinking Iron Brew. His interviews will become a little bit less easy to understand. I thought the lads did really well today, Stuart Carr says Senegal will win the AFCON. I think so too, mate. Yeah, I fancy the Lions of Teranga. Mackenzie, how's it going? And Reece says, what in the world of Jesus Christ is that Spurs kit? Allegedly, it's a tribute to a former player. It's all white. Apart from the numbers, but no names on the back. Scottish GHK says, thanks on a permo. He won't need to. Scotland getting out of the group would be a win. And on Jabba says, hi, I have to support Senegal. Well, surely you want Senegal out sooner rather than later so you can get Ndiaye and Ghana Gay back. On a permo, we'll be eating battered Mars bars. Yeah. Battered Mars bars with a little bit of iron brew. Touch of haggis. Key with his David Moyes impression. David Moyes doesn't sound... I think that the impression I just did was a little bit more Glasgow. David Moyes is... Is David Moyes Glasgow? Don't know whereabouts in Scotland David Moyes is from, but he doesn't really sound like that. Twisted Fate, Liam Racine, you looks like a bloody road man. What's a road man? I'm showing me age. Jabba says, oh, that's true, we need our players back. And Philippine says, sounding more Scottish than me there, Key. Reece says, it might be like a dementia thing, potentially. Why is it a dementia thing? Someone said it's a tribute to an ex-player. Don't know how true that is. On a permo says, wearing a CU Jimmy hat. What's a CU Jimmy hat? Is it like Jimmy and Jeanette Cranky? Is that what we're talking about? Hope Sesko kicks on now. He's got the confidence. He scored a couple of good goals against Burnley, didn't he? Scottish GHK says, don't forget deep fried pizza and Buckfast. Bucky! Couple of bottles of Bucky. Deep fried pizza, is that a thing? I know the Scots are insane, but deep fried pizza? No. Draw the line. I've never had a battered Mars bar or a deep fried Mars bar on a permo, no. And we've got relatives in Dumfries. I've been up that way many, many times. Haggis, beautiful. I happily haggis is absolutely gorgeous, and I'll only have haggis when I'm in Scotland. Absolutely beautiful, but I wouldn't be touching a deep fried Mars bar, let alone a deep fried pizza. That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen. On a permo says it's a tartan beret with a ginger wig underneath. Ah, one of those. Claim for a handball. You're not getting it. Nah, it's cleared away. Rohale says, I love a Mars bar, or did when they were full size in the 90s. Spurs try and get through very quickly, but Villa see the counter-attack. Richarlison blocked off. On a permo, it's not a fried pizza, it's the fact it's battered. And this is what makes it amazing. Welsh Wing says, what are your thoughts on Roy Keane saying Sir Alex is hanging round United like a bad smell? They don't like each other, do they? And I think there is an element of truth to it. It can't be helpful to live in the shadow of Sir Alex Ferguson. Oh, great ball. Villa are in. Should be 1-0. It is 1-0. What a goal that is, by the way. It's an absolute screamer, that from Buendia. It's a fabulous goal. Absolutely sensational goal, this from Villa. Tottenham cut apart. And a fabulous pass there into Buendia. And a rocket into the top corner. Keeper no chance. Thomas Frank under increasing pressure. And the boos starting to ring around. Just watch this. Do you know what? Pass it. Look how easy that was for them to pass through. 2 passes, 3 passes, and they're in. That can't be it. That is unforgivable for me as a defence. It can't be easy that it's 2-3 passes, straight passes as well, and you're basically in. Oh, that is absolutely outrageous. 3 passes and they're straight 1-on-1 with the keeper. Oh no. I mean, listen, it's 2-touch stuff. It's a ball into feet. It's a touch with the right foot. It's turn, pass it off with the left. That's all Villa did then. It was quick stuff. But it's too simple. If you're Spurs, if you're Thomas Frank, I'm looking at that and thinking, oh my God, you've had an absolute shocker. That's not good enough, that, for Spurs. Creed Van Crow says, my stepmom is Scottish, so I've tried a deep fried Mars bar and a battered pizza. They like to call it a pizza crunch, I think. It's not as good as normal pizza. A pizza crunch. Excuse me there, wee lassie. Have you got a pizza crunch for me to try? Oh, Welsh wing was Thomas Frank holding Brentford back. Hey, inevitably, maybe so. Reece, did you see Sturridge try and not burst out laughing when Keane said that? Yeah, he's hanging around like a bad smell. Fucking hell, it's only maybe the greatest manager in Premier League history. Villa are in again here. It's going to be a corner. Spurs want to be very careful. This one could be out of sight by half time if they're not careful. Thomas the fraud engine. Sarah says Fergie never did back-to-back Champions Leagues, and Ronnie says, did you see the rumours that Van der Ven wants to join Liverpool? You can do much better. I like Van der Ven, but I don't. If he came in, I think he'd only be a backup. Captain Spurs says we're still winning this. Come on, you Spurs, let's back the lads. And on a Permo says Pizza Crunch is the Glasgow name, West Coast. It's just battered pizza on the East Coast. It's too simple, that, innit? Emi Buendia from Argentina. Reece Spurs kit is to mark the 125th anniversary of the 1901 FA Cup winning team. Strike from distance. Good save from Vicario. Buendia recycles it. Villa all over these here. Could be over very quickly if they're not careful. Oh, all these second balls. Villa are winning everything. Look how quickly they're losing it, Spurs. Matthijs Tel finally getting out, and it's a good tackle from Villa, and finally, honestly, just a little bit of an outball, a little bit of a break for that Spurs defence. The midfield, who's Spurs midfield today? The Spurs midfield today want, I'm not going to go as far as say they want shooting, but they need an absolute rocket up their backside today. Paulinho, Simons and Gray. Archie Gray, he's a young lad, he needs time. Paulinho and Simons. I know Simons is also young. The three of them as a three, it just ain't working. It's too easy to be passed through there. Far too easy. Welsh Wing says, didn't their rivalry start because Roy Keane was on MUTV when they lost 4-1 to Borough? Something like that, yes. Basically, Roy Keane went on MUTV. They got beat 4-1 against Borough, and he came in and basically said, he was crap, he was shit, he was useless, none of the players worked hard enough, we deserve to get beat, and it's not good enough for a side like us. It was scathing, and he gave that to the club channel. The club channel didn't air it, they sent the video to Fergie first for approval. He lost his head, and he was like, yeah, we're going to have to let you go. Roy Keane was like, well, let's play it in front of all the players, let's see what they say. And he played the interview in front of all the players, and none of the players had anything to say apart from... Who was it who said... Is it the goalkeeper? Who was United's goalkeeper around that time? Wasn't Schmeichel? Who was the goalkeeper? Wasn't Fabian? Wasn't Bosnich? Who was the United goalkeeper? Why have I lost my head here? I thought it was Edwin van der Sar, but it wasn't Edwin van der Sar. He was gone. It wasn't Edwin van der Sar. It was the United goalkeeper who said something to him. It wasn't Van der Sar, I'm telling you. It definitely wasn't Van der Sar. Van der Sar hadn't signed for United, had he, before Keane left? When did Van der Sar sign for United? Maybe he did, actually. Maybe I'm wrong. Edwin van der Sar signed for United in... Maybe he did. 2005. No, it wasn't. Keane had basically already gone by then, hadn't he? Had he already gone by then? Maybe he hadn't. I think it was 2004, 2005. Maybe it was. Maybe that was the final season he was at United, 04-05. He definitely was there because he broke Xabi Alonso. No, Luis Garcia ended Roy Keane's United career. We always said that. Maybe it was 05-06. Yeah, he was at United. Maybe it was Edwin van der Sar then. Yeah, Edwin van der Sar said something to Keane and said, well, it was a bit over the top or whatever. But everyone else was fine with it. And yeah, it was downhill from then. Yeah, it wasn't Van der Gaal. It was Van der Sar. You're right. Oh, Paul flying in with his size 12s. Ishan Mitra says, today I feel like a villain. Good lad. Twisted Fence said, it was Tim Howard at United when Keane left. Well, it wasn't. It was Van der Sar had just come in. Van der Sar had just come in. Yeah, there was that little spell with Tim Howard, Roy Carroll. Yeah, it wasn't then. Another player down here, Richarlison. Honestly, the first 20 minutes here, the first half an hour have been loads of players getting injured. Davey says, from a serious knee injury, Bentancur's already missing this one through injury, picked up in the late stages at Bournemouth on Wednesday. Cash can't half hit a ball, finished by Buendia that. Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was Edwin van der Sar. Danzo getting some instructions here from Thomas Frank with his little set pieces board. I don't like that. Does that not make it look worse? Like when you've got the whole set pieces board thing. Randall Kolo Muwani's about to come on for Spurs. Richarlison injured. Fits our profile of recruitment. Get him in. He's injured. He's available on a cheap now. On the cheap. Randall Kolo Muwani about to come on for Spurs. Richarlison straight down the tunnel. Looks like maybe a calf strain or could be a hamstring, I guess. But he's just gone like that and felt the back of it. I think it's his back of his left calf. So calf strains, maybe 2-3 weeks, depending on how bad it is. Might not see him till February now. Comedy Long Pants Gamer says, I'm so happy with my club. Up the villains and expressions, choo blood. Oh, and expressions, choo blood. Ah, I see. Reese says, so MUTV ruined Keane's career. Well, kind of. Luis Garcia gave him the injury that meant he never really played for United again. It was in a 0-0 draw at Anfield. United were wearing their blue kits. Yeah, it finished 0-0. But Luis Garcia, Liverpool fans always said Luis Garcia ended Roy Keane's United career. But if we're honest, it was already on the ropes by that point. Cambridge United 0, Birmingham 1. And Philippine says, in my opinion, it's Bellingham all day. But who do you think is better, Bellingham or Pedri? They play very different roles, don't they? Bellingham can't do what Pedri does, and I'm not entirely sure Pedri can do what Bellingham does. They're very different types of players. Twisted Fate says, we had Foster and Howard, and then when Van der Sar came in 2005, but I bet it was Foster or Howard that said something to Keane, because Howard's career was going downhill at that point. No, I'm sure in the anecdote, I've heard Roy Keane tell the story, and I'm sure he says Edwin. Edwin piped up and said something, which makes sense because Edwin van der Sar had just come into the club. He was an experienced player. He'd been at Juventus, he'd been at Ajax, and he'd bounced around a little bit, been successful. And yeah, that makes sense, I think, that Edwin would be the one to pipe up. Everyone else didn't really say a thing. Captain Spurs says, Man U should have never let De Gea leave. He had the golden glove the season he left. It was madness. And on a Permo says, you can't tell if he's trying to implement his own style or if he's reacting to something in-game. Thomas Frank. I just don't think the whole checkers tactics board is a particularly good look for a manager. I know that's really stupid and a little bit pathetic, and it is, I get it, but I think a manager's got to look like he's always got it in order. Like, looking on the touchline, if you give off the appearance of uncertainty and yeah, you never quite... I mean, it's a fine line, isn't it? It's a fine line because if you're a manager who stands there and your arms folded, calm, watching along, and the results aren't going your way, the fans will criticise you for not caring enough, not being passionate enough, being flat. You look flat, therefore the team looks flat. Or rather, the team looks flat because you're flat, right? And then you have other people who are a bit more like Jurgen Klopp, right? Like, and not Jurgen Klopp, but Jurgen Klopp types who bounce along the touchline going, yes, come on. Yeah, like cheering everything and saying like, come on, whipping the players up and all that. And then when there's results not going their way, then they're like, hang on a minute, mate. We want a manager. We want a tactician. We don't want a cheerleader on the touchline. You just look ridiculous running up and down the touchline, shouting and doing that. So you can't really win as a manager. But I agree, it's not a particularly good look. Welshwing says, in a team meeting where the unheard interview was shown to the Man United squad, Edwin van der Sar was the primary player who spoke up against Roy Keane, telling him he was out of order. He criticised several of his teammates by name, including Ferdinand, O'Shea, Fletcher, Richardson, Alan Smith and van der Sar, according to Google. Good header that from Spurs, gone behind for a corner, and Jabba says, looking down at the board, worked for Amorim. Oh wait, that was in the Grimsby game, wasn't it? Soaking wet in the Grimsby game. Welshwing says Keane reportedly responded with a retort. Edwin, why don't you shut the F up? You've been at the club for 2 minutes and you've done more interviews than I've done in my 12 years. Sounds like Keane, doesn't it? Certainly sounds like Keane. Scottish GHK, it's not like Keane to go in with both feet when unhappy. Strike from distance. Villa again in the box. Villa all the early pressure here. Reese, I wouldn't like to be on the end of a Jurgen Klopp warm-up stir. I know, but wouldn't you like to be on the end of a Jurgen Klopp hug? When things are going badly, when things are going well, whatever. Like Jurgen Klopp giving you a big hug. Yeah, that'd make you feel on top of the world as a player, wouldn't it? Twisted Faces Andy Gorham also told Keane he was out of order in a 2001 training session, to be honest. I mean, Andy Goram's not going to take shit off anyone. He was another player who he could definitely hold his own, Andy Gorham. 3-star says, disagree about the uncertainty with the checkers board. Dyche does not have one, and he still looks like he ain't got a clue. If he had one, though, it might stop him picking his nose. R says, is Barnes Newcastle's best player? Not sure he's Newcastle's best player, but he might well be Newcastle's in-form player. All the way back from Villa to Bezo. Reece says Roy Keane might be the most underrated pundit on Sky Sports. Again, he's very good. No doubt about that. He's very, very good. Welshwing says, do you remember the incident in the 2002 World Cup with Mick McCarthy where Roy complained about the hotel and training ground and left in protest? Yes. Yes, they've made a film about it called Saipan, which is out on the 26th of January. I am massively looking forward to it. It's got Steve Coogan in it. Watch it if you can. It's a fantastic film, I think. Davey says if Frank gets sacked at half-time, he'll be the second manager ever to be sacked at half-time. Who's the first? Jabber says, I didn't realise how often Dyche picks his nose until Wolfie pointed it out. Now I'm grossed out by it. Yeah, doesn't he do it with his thumb? Doesn't he go like that a lot? Like, he's forever like... he goes like that all the time, doesn't he? Oh... Twisted Face says, unbiased, he's defo, but in the reverse fashion, he can't praise anyone. And 92FC says, do you watch Henry Wright Tottenham? Henry Wright Tottenham? Is that like is that a con? Honestly, mate, every time someone asks me, do I watch a certain person, I feel awful saying no, because it's not a diss. I really don't know the vast majority of content creators. Even though I am one myself, I have no idea who a lot of the massive, massive ones are. Who are 10 times bigger than I'll probably ever be, but still, I don't watch a lot of them. I tend to just do my own thing. Rohale says, actually, Gus Poyet was sacked on air during a match of the day. Yes, I saw that. I remember that. Tony Peters says, any score key? There's only score so far is Tottenham 0, Villa 1, and Bristol City are now 2-0 up against Watford. Captain Spurs says, we are too compact. It's inviting pressure. Marlon into the box. It's another corner for Villa. This must be about the 20th corner that Villa have had. Jabbert says, what? You and Goldbridge don't hang out together at the pub? Won't mind be a pound behind him in the bank. See how much he paid himself last year? Can you hear them fireworks outside? Who's letting fireworks off on the 10th of January? My poor little dog downstairs is going to be an anxiety-ridden mess. Poor fella. Shocking. Ban fireworks. Twisted Face says, you don't want to watch Henry anyway, Key. He's known as the YouTube creep. Oh, he stole me title. Spurs clear it away. Arab Joe says, Frankie's getting sacked tonight. And on a permo says, yep, Spurs are playing shite. Twisted Fate Goldbridge probably lives closer to Key than Manchester, to be fair. I don't live that far away from Manchester. I used to work in Manchester. Used to be in and out of Manchester all the time. But I was working in Liverpool up until 18 months ago. Grimsby 1, Western Superman 0. Baz says the staff changes are laughable. Frank sacked, Dyche sacked, Nuno sacked, Glasner leaving. Zzz says you're a melt. Many would agree. 3 star says Dyche also wipes the snot off his nose, then runs his hand over his bald head. Other hair tonics are available. Stuart Carr says Spurs are so bad. Well, it's a corner to Spurs. It's the first real venture they've had into the opposition half. 5 minutes before half time, it'd be a great time for Spurs to get a goal here. Matthijs Tel with the corner. Odd corner choice, corner taker. Danzo header over the bar. Too easy. And now he's complaining of a potential injury. Oh my God. Twisted Fate says, Key, I see you're melting. Turn the temperature down. It's not that hot in here. Welsh Ring says, you've got me down a rabbit hole of funny football beefs now, Key. Honestly, wait till that film comes out, Saipan. It's wicked. Creed Van Crow says, who's more gross, Dyche or Lowe? Can you hear that outside? Is that being picked up on the mic? CRF says, what team do you need to win or support? So I support Liverpool, mate. I'm going to be watching Liverpool on Monday against Barnsley. I don't really need either team to win. I have not chosen to back either team tonight. Chabot says, I forgot about Yogi Low. That candid moment ended his career. Well, to be fair, he didn't just pick his nose, did he? There's a few times where he had his hand down, other places he'd go like that, and then you'd see him go, oh. Is that hailstones? No, it sounds like gunshots. It's fireworks. Someone, I can only assume, in the immediate vicinity is letting off fireworks. Spurs are in. Could be. What a finish that is. Is he onside? Is he onside? No, he's off. Good finish that from Randall Kolo Muani, though. Very nearly 1-1. Was he onside here? I mean, VAR doesn't exist in the FA Cup, so I think he was offside anyway. Yeah, he was off. He would have been ruled out with a VAR as well. It was a good pass and a good touch and a good finish. Better. Richarlison's been taken off injured, CRF. He's gone off the pitch injured. Kolo Muani replaced him and he's just had a goal ruled out for offside. Captain Spurs, I have 3 dogs, a Frenchie, a Staffy, and a Vizsla. My 2 boys are fine, but my girl shakes scared from fireworks. I wish they'd stick to 1 day a year and only use the silent ones. It's dead frustrating, innit? Yeah. We have to literally, I wouldn't say drug the dog up, but kind of like give him, like we've gone to the vets and spoke to him about how anxious and nervous he gets, and they've prescribed like it's kind of like a sedative, but it's only a mild one. It's just to kind of make him feel a bit sleepy during them, because otherwise, I can't tell you how nervous, anxious, and he just shakes. He literally, he was wetting himself around the house and stuff. Davey says, Key, the manager was Martin Jol. Manager was Martin Jol for what? The answer was Martin Jol. Ask Google. If Frank gets sacked. Oh, for the first ever manager sacked at half-time. Sorry. Oh, right, okay. I don't remember Martin Jol getting sacked at half-time. Dan Dog says, I think we deserved our FA Cup win at the Hill Dickinson. I agree with that, Dan Dog. Absolutely agree. I think you were the better side. Certainly the first half. Everton got a very fortunate penalty at the end. And to be honest, just off them penalties alone, you probably deserved it. Everton were really poor. Ro Hale says, I love animals and would always put their well-being above even my own. Good lad. Yeah, you can always tell a lot about a person by how they treat dogs and cats and animals, generally speaking. Although I'm not a cat person. Too needy to be a cat person. DC says scoreboard's wrong, Key. Is it? Is it? No, it's not. Tottenham 0 Villa 1. Was it saying 1-1? Yeah, it usually rules itself out pretty quickly. Chelsea game 11. Chelsea game's at 8 o'clock in the UK, but I'm not going to be doing it. I was considering it, but I'm not going to. Because I somehow think that Chelsea... I'll keep an eye out for the lineups on that one, but I do think Chelsea are going to go strong, and they're going to start fast, and I think they get 1 or 2-0 in front, and then it just becomes a really easy game for them. Bristol 2-0 up against Watford. Yeah, they certainly are. Twisted Fate says, Lloris and Son against Everton in 2020 when Son didn't track back was a funny video that circulated. I'm so close to just going and screaming out that back window. Pack it in! Jabba says this game is so much better without VAR. I hate VAR, but I think there's got to be a way of... It's not going anywhere. We've just got to find a way of not letting it be such a drawn-out thing. I hate the fact that when you score or you concede a goal, everyone immediately goes, ooh, could it be checked? Could it be checked? Maybe it's going to get ruled out. And there's goals that you look at and there's no way they should have been ruled out, but they have been. And there's goals that you're like, that absolutely should have been ruled out, and it hasn't been. Welshwing says, in 2003, McLaren and Moyes clashed on the touchline during a Middlesbrough-Everton match by a sportsmanship dispute, instead of Everton returning the ball to Borough from the resulting throw-in. Honor Permore says it's created its own set of problems and changed how players play the game. What, VAR? Yeah. One day or less. Good evening, Key. How are you doing? DC says Spurs usually play well for a while when they get a new manager. It's been shocking this season. And Philippine says apparently we're looking at a new number 9 since we've put Danilo up for sale. Rangers probably do need some better attacking threat. I know they've got Chimiti playing well at the minute, but here's Marlon. Strike from the edge of the box from McGinn. Good effort into Vicario. Good save. Tobe says, good night, mate. See you tomorrow. Take it easy, Tobe. See you soon. Ro Hale says, I remember when Arsene Wenger clashed with Mourinho and he clashed with Pardew. And Jabba says, I'm used to video review on the States. It's so much faster. Not perfect, but fast and efficient and usually correct. I don't really know what the solution is, to be honest, Jabba. I wish there was a way we could expedite the whole process, whether that means a certain number of calls like we have in cricket, or a way of automating it so that I maybe think the referee should only get a certain number of looks at it, because if it's not immediately obvious, then it's not clear and obvious. So therefore, if you haven't seen it on replay 1 or 2, then I'm sorry, you don't get to sit and scrutinise it forensically. Villa are in again. It's 2. It's bang on half time. Morgan Rogers makes it 2-0. Oh, no. Oh, Spurs, the worst time they could possibly have conceded. And Morgan Rogers makes it 2-0. Spurs falling to bits. Vicario clapping at his players. And Van der Ven, they're all trying to encourage each other. But honestly, Unai Emery's team at the minute look like they are sailing through to the fourth round. Tottenham, look at that. Tottenham supporters already heading for the exits there. Maybe they just go and get in the half-time refreshments. We'll give them some credit for that. But it looks like there's an awful lot of Spurs fans heading to the exits. They're all walking up the steps into the vomitories. And that one might well be that. Morgan Rogers, left-footed, right near the penalty spot, low and hard. No chance for Vicario. But again, the defending for Spurs, it's just all over the place. Archie Gray doesn't get close enough. Nowhere near close enough there, Archie Gray. Got to get a block into that. I really, really like Archie Gray. I like him a lot, but I've got to say, I feel like he's been well off the pace for Spurs for some time. Liam says, doesn't VAR come in the FA Cup games in the quarters? I think so. I think it said the sixth round. If that's the quarters now, then yeah, the sixth round of the FA Cup. Thomas Frank looks lost, says on a permo, and Chubby Checker says no Chaz and Dave Spurs Cup song this year then. Rohale says, Key, do you remember Neil Lennon v Ali McCoist? I don't remember Neil Lennon v Ali McCoist. I remember Neil Lennon when he was at Leicester and he kicked out at someone on the floor. I can't remember who it was though. Ola Permo says Tottenham lost the ball easily as well. Tottenham fans have to enjoy the atmosphere, says Jabber. Look at that. There's quite a few Spurs empty seats even just there. The camera maybe not showing the bigger picture, but there's only 90 seconds left to go in this half, and it's been less than ideal for Spurs. That's going to be a foul, is it? No, throw into Villa. CRF says, who is Randall for Spurs? Randall Kolo Muani. He used to play for PSG, for Juventus. He's a very talented player. Played for Eintracht Frankfurt as well, didn't he? He's been out on loan for a bit. But yeah, he hasn't necessarily settled in straight away at Spurs. I don't think he's scored for Spurs yet, has he? Has he actually scored a goal for him yet? Yeah, I don't think he has. He was absolutely prolific at Frankfurt. He was terrific for Frankfurt. Played under Oliver Glasner, didn't he, at Frankfurt? Obviously got the big move to PSG. Didn't really work out for him there. Did all right on loan at Juventus, and obviously that got him the loan to Spurs. But 14 games in at Spurs, still no goal. It's a difficult adaptation period to the Premier League anyway. But I think there is a player in there with Kolo Muani. He's still quite young. Well, 27 actually. He's not that young, is he? I thought he was 25. Maybe I've given him too much credit. Is he an attacker? He is, yes. He is an attacker. Onapermo says, Walter Smith took Ali and Neil Lennon aside and gave them a telling off. I don't remember that one, no. I'll have to catch up on that one. Right, half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it is Tottenham 0, Villa 2. Buendia and Morgan Rogers with the goals. Boos at half-time, ringing round the ground. Will says, yes, Key, what's your Ivory Coast Egypt prediction? I think Ivory Coast win that one 2-1, and I think Mo Salah is home in time for Liverpool. We play Fulham next. Is it not Fulham? Who do we play next? Not Fulham. We've already played Fulham. I'm trying to burn the memories of Fulham out of my mind, to be honest. Who have Liverpool got next? Who have we got next? Is it Burnley? It is Burnley. Yeah, we've got Barnsley Monday night, and then we've got Burnley next Saturday, 3 o'clock. At Anfield as well. So that one, we should wipe the floor with Burnley after Barnsley. That's 2 games there. And then we've got Marseille away in the Champions League. Bournemouth away. Karabag at home. Liverpool v Newcastle at home. Then we go into a really difficult run of games against City. Sunderland away. Forest away. So yeah, the next few games should be a little bit easier for us. Edmund on Laos is happy from an Arsenal fan. You deserved a team and fans willing to lose to MC instead of fight Gur top 4. It's a joke, team. Yeah, got you, Edmund. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more, mate. Liam says Leeds at home to Fulham next. And Twisted Face says Osimhen is now 27, key dude. Ruined his potential career with wage demands. Listen, he's still on best part of 300 grand a week at Galatasaray. Will says, what about Marseille away? Could that be a hard game for us? Marseille away is always a difficult game, but I think we'll go there and win. We have to be honest. Tony says, hello, absolutely appalling performance by Tottenham, half there, but being an Arsenal fan, it's so funny to see them falling apart. Good to see you again, Tony. How's it going, mate? Scottish GHK says, to level up my hate of Lennon, Scott Brown is a gent off the pitch. He's a good guy. And CRF says, I had Richie to get a shot, but because he was taken off, the player who comes on for him also replaces Richie on the bet. Oh, will he get one for... Yes, I would imagine so. I would imagine so. Jake says, who scored the 2 goals for Villa? First goal was scored by Emi Buendia. Second goal was scored by Morgan Rogers. Reece, see you in 72, Key. You said the word. If it drops down, you know why it is. I really try not to read it, but then sometimes it just slips in. I try not to. Oh, come on, Key. Please don't. Please don't. Right. Liam says, could Villa win the FA Cup this year? I'd say so, yeah. Don't see why not. So, I'm just looking at a half-time quiz, potential half-time quiz for us. Right, at least the fireworks have stopped outside. That's a start. Right, we're very, very nearly there. Right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players. 16 players who have played for Aston Villa and Tottenham in the Premier League era. 16 players who have played for Tottenham in the Premier League. Can you name them? Fire away. Jimmy P says, mate, surely Frank has to go. I don't think he does, mate. No, I don't think he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, rather, but I don't think he will. Or I don't think he should, rather. Rohale says, in the years since, fans have let Lennon know what they think of him. Sometimes we're getting very personal, but that's a story for another day. Twisted Fate, I still can't get over Macclesfield knocking out Palace. Jabba says, your Geordie neighbours have finished their celebrations. Darren Bent is correct, says Liam. Yes, Darren Bent played for both Spurs and Aston Villa. Any more guesses? 16 players who've played for both Aston Villa and Spurs in the Premier League. Fire away. Rohale says Ginola. Yes, David Ginola played for both. Many people forget about Ginola's spell at Aston Villa, but he did, yeah. Brad Friedel, generational gooner. Good to see you, mate. How's things? Brad Friedel did play for both. Good player. Not Stan Collymore, says Rohale. Yeah, not Stan Collymore. Didn't play for Spurs. Did play for Villa, of course. Not Van der Vaart. Guzan didn't. No, but Friedel did. Rohale says, yeah, we've done that one, sorry. Any more? Played for Villa, played for Spurs in the Premier League. No Googling. Remember, if you cheat, you're only cheating yourself. Baz says, did you hear them fireworks? Do apologise. Told Nana to pack it in. She was celebrating divorce. Yeah, that killed me. Alan Hutton is correct. Yes, Alan Hutton played for both Spurs and Aston Villa. Joe, evening. How's it going, mate? Good result for Newcastle, wasn't it? Reece says, Van der Vaart, what a howler of a player he was. Yeah, I thought Van der Vaart played all right for Spurs. I mean, he wasn't necessarily the player we thought he'd be, but I thought he was okay. Robbie Keane, Peter Crouch. Yeah, Robbie Keane did, and Peter Crouch. Both of those correct. Both played for Spurs and Aston Villa. Not Ian Hendry, not Shaka Hislop. Not Theo Walcott either. There are some more recent ones that you're missing. So, let me give you some clues. There was a player who played for Liverpool, who also played for Villa and Spurs. He was a Norwegian. Jermaine Genius is correct, Welsh wing. Yep, Jermaine Genius is right. Joe says, looks like Frank will be sacked after this. Feel really sorry for him. He's a top man. It's a shame, that. It's a real shame. Key says, are you watching the Chelsea match later, mate? I'm not. No, well, I will be watching it. But I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to stream it. Purely because it could go one of two ways, couldn't it? It could be that it's an absolute, tense one and Charlton kind of make it uncomfortable for Chelsea and it's 0-0 for a long period and maybe even Charlton score early. Who knows? It could be that, and if it is that, then it's a great stream. My worry is that Chelsea go strong on Liam Rosenior's debut. They make a fast start. They score 1 or 2 in the opening half hour, and it's a dead rubber. So I think it's a dead rubber, personally. Not Alfinger Haaland, not Les Ferdinand, no. Not Reeser, not Stephen Carr. No, so I'll give you some clues. There was a player who was on loan at both from Atletico Madrid. So he never actually permanently signed for either, I don't believe. He played on loan from Atletico Madrid. Wayne Routledge is correct, Welsh wing. Only because I remember him from a quiz I asked you before. Not Darius Vassell. Jabba says Frank to United then. Thomas Frank. CRF thinks Charlton are bound to score. The concern is more when they score. They probably will score at some point. It's whether or not they do it when Chelsea are already 4-1 up. Or if they score early and then it gets really tense. Not Hitzelsperger, no. So yeah, there's a player who played on loan at Spurs and Villa from Atletico Madrid. Centre-back. There's a centre-mid, Norwegian, played for Spurs and Villa after he played for Liverpool. That was in the late 90s, early noughties. Not Javi Manquillo, no. I don't think Javi Manquillo played for either team, to be honest, did he? Not Agbon Lahore, Creed Van Crow. There's another... I tell you what, there's a player who's currently playing for Burnley. A title winner who's currently playing for Burnley who played for both. That should give the game away. Leonardson, good shout. Oyvind Leonardson did play for Liverpool, Villa and Spurs. Good shout. Not Stigginger Bjornaby. Kyle Walker, says Liam Manning. Yeah, Kyle Walker's correct. He played for both Spurs and he played on loan for Aston Villa. Not Brun Larson. Let's have a check on Twitch. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you guys on Twitch. Luke Young. Good shout. Yeah, Luke Young. Did Luke Young actually ever get an England call-up? Might have even got an England cap, Luke Young. He was good for a spell, Luke Young. Yeah. Welsh Wing says Cranchar. No, not Cranchar. What a player he was, though. No, not Cranchar. Anyone else on Twitch? Was the Atletico Madrid player Longley? That's the one, yeah. Clement Longley, centre-back, played on loan for both Villa and Spurs from Atletico Madrid. That is correct. Not Karl-Heinz Riedel and not Steven Pienaar. Not Brun Larson. There's 4 left to get. One of them is a goalkeeper who is Italian. Played for Spurs as I think he was second or third choice for a while, and he went to Villa as second or third choice. Very recently as well. Pretty sure he was from Atalanta, the goalkeeper. Not Cianluca. Gallini. Good shout. Pierluigi Gallini. Very good shout. And then we've got 2 left to get. I don't think you're going to get either of them, to be honest. One of them is a Spurs youth player. came through the academy, played a handful of times for Spurs, then went to Villa, played a handful of times, and honestly, I don't even know where he is now. I'm sure it wasn't that long ago. Where is he now? Well, he's 33 and he's most recently played for Reading. He only played 2 games on loan for Villa. He made 27 appearances for Tottenham. Played for England under-21s and then he's bounced around the lower leagues. Swansea, QPR, Ipswich, Exeter, MK Dons. I'll tell you that one. That was Tom Carroll. Tom Carroll. He made most of his appearances for Swansea City in the Premier League. That was a difficult one, that one, Tom Carroll. That's the one, Welsh wing, yeah. And the last one was a very, very popular Premier League player. I don't remember him. I think he played most of his career for Forest. I think he was a Nottingham Forest player for a long, long time. That's a total lie. He played for Spurs for 163 games, then went to Villa for 26, and then made 8 appearances for Nottingham Forest. It says a lot that I remember him more for Forest than anyone else. But he was a Scotland international who played at the last World Cup for Scotland. Not the last World Cup, 1998. The last World Cup that Scotland were at, the 1998 World Cup. Scotland centre-back. Not the one with lovely, luscious blonde locks, Colin Hendry. Not him. His mate, his centre-back partner. Not Teddy Sheringham, no. Famously not a Scottish centre-back. Not Pierre Van Hooijdonk. Twisted Fate says, I'm ready for Ivory Coast v Egypt. Yeah, that kicks off in 10 minutes. It's not Stephen Colker. Stephen Colker now plays for Sierra Leone, doesn't he? It's not Colin Hendry. It is Colin Calderwood. Might remember Colin Calderwood. He briefly played for both Spurs and, well, he played for a long time for Spurs and briefly for Villa. But there you go. Colin Calderwood was the final one. So they are your 16 players. Oh, we've got one left. Sorry, we've got one left. Where the pissing hell is he now? Oh, you'll remember this player. He's an English player. Came through the Spurs academy. He's 28 currently. He's currently a free 28 and he's a free agent. Currently last played for Blackpool last year. He did play for Preston as well. Creed Van Crow, you should remember this. He played for Preston and then he went to Blackpool. He spent most of his Premier League career at Fulham. Spent 4 years at Fulham, made over 65 appearances, and he's been on loan at Sheffield Wednesday. He spent 33 games on loan at Villa, and he made 13 appearances for Spurs during the Pochettino era. Any guesses just before we kick off for the second half? That one was Josh Onomah. So there you go. There's the 16 players who've played for both Spurs and Villa. Darren Bent, Colin Calderwood, Tom Carroll, Peter Crouch, Brad Friedel, David Ginola, Pierluigi Galini, Alan Hutton, Jermaine Genus, Robbie Keane, Clement Longley, Oyvind Leonardson, Josh Onomah, Wayne Routledge, Kyle Walker and Luke Young. There you go. 16 players. And we're off for the second half. Rohale says, well, I got one right at least. Oh, we're off and underway for the second half anyway, so we can enjoy the second half now. Spurs have got a mammoth task of trying to get back into this. To be honest, Villa have started the game as strongly as they ended the first. They've got all the ball and they've started it in and around the edge of Spurs' box. That's going to be a foul and a yellow card, surely, ref. Tielemans should be getting a book in there. Craig Pawson is not. Do you know what? He veers so frequently, Craig Pawson, from being a ref that books everyone. He's dead card happy to a ref that just does not want to give a card for any reason. He won't give a card. Doesn't matter how bad the foul is, how cynical the foul is. Doesn't matter if a player's been pulled back. It's crazy. Key, that floorboard is not a good sound, mate. Sorry. To be fair, I have been accused of farting many, many times on this stream, and it is just... Well, Shrink says, here's my daily question for you, Key. Only 3 players playing in the Premier League won the Champions League and the Euros in the same year. Who are these 3 players? Ooh, that is a good question. We should... Do you know what? I'm going to empower you lot to bring questions to these lives. You should be bringing me these questions. I'm super impressed by questions like that. 3 players played in the Premier League, won the Champions League and Euros in the same year. Who were those 3? I was going to say Mata, but no. Spurs? No, definitely not Spurs. Spain. What year did they win the Euros? Was it 2008? Was it 2008 Euros that Spurs... Why am I saying Spurs winning the Euros? Spain. Was it Spain winning the Euros in 2008 or was it 2012? I think that might have been Italy. No, it wasn't. I always get them confused. Mata 2012. Yeah, I think it might be Mata 2000. Did they win it twice? I'm crap with international. I'm good with World Cups. I'm crap with Euros. Iniesta and... It's all them Spurs players, innit? It's got to be them Spurs players. Why am I saying Spurs? Why have I got Spurs on the brain? It's Spain. Spain players. Iniesta, Torres, Mata. Yeah, I'd go for them. Them types. It's got to be a Spanish player who won the Champions League the year they won the Euros. Although, to be fair, do you know what? No, I don't think so. What about France? Didn't France have when they won Euro 2000? Oh, must be a chance here for Villa. Oh, he gets it all wrong. Shot from the halfway line there. Vicario miles off his line. Mata 2012. Spain won it in 2008-12. Torres 2012, yeah. Maybe it's Mata, Torres. Not Xabi Alonso. Xabi says, yes, the Spurish players. I don't know why I keep getting it. So it was a repeated thing that I had a bloody stroke on stream. Fabian Barthez. No, Barthez didn't win the Champions League. Euro 2000. Who won the Champions League in 2000? After United won it. Who won it the year after United? ...2005 was Liverpool, 2004 was Porto, 2003 was that AC Milan at Old Trafford, the 0-0. 2002 was... I think it was 2000 Real Madrid. If it was 2000 Real Madrid, I don't think there was another French player in that Real Madrid side, was there? No, I don't think there was. I don't think there was a French player in that Real Madrid side. And then you're talking Euro 2004, which is Greece. And that would have been Porto, and there was no Greek players playing for Porto. And then Euro 2008 was Spain, so yeah. Euro 96 was... Who won the Euro? Who won Champions League 96? Was that Juventus? Is that Juventus again? Oh no, it was Dortmund, wasn't it? Was it Dortmund? Dortmund beating Juventus in the final. Oh, why am I got? I've got such a mind blank. Paul Lambert played and scored in it, didn't he? Karl-Heinz Riedler. Ah, my mind's blank tonight. Someone help me out. That was when football was good, though. Rohale says Real Madrid players back then: Raul, Figo, R9, Ronaldo. Not in 2000. Raul was. Figo wasn't at Real Madrid in 2000. He was still at Barca, wasn't he? R9 Ronaldo wasn't. R9 Ronaldo wasn't at Real Madrid in 2000. He was at Inter Milan. I think he only went to Real Madrid in 2002, didn't he? Strike from the edge of the box. Spurs unlucky. Xavi Simons, good effort. Twisted Fate says, Key, I swear this better be a good game. I've been excited for this one all day. It's been crap, mate. It has been awful so far. It's been all Villa. I refuse to Google or we'd have the answer. Thomas Frank to be sacked before the end of January, latest mid-February. Why, though? Why? Like, surely we have to start giving managers a better... We've got to give managers a longer time to do this stuff, to turn things around. Generational Gooners, I've got a good one, but limited characters. Mate, get over to the place that starts with YOUTUBE. Get over there. You've got unlimited characters on there. You can go and type what you want. Creed Van Crow says, is Cristiano Ronaldo one? Well, they won it in... Was it 60? Was it 2016 Portugal? 2016 World Cup Portugal? Possibly. Who won the Champions League in 2016? It's got to be one of the Real Madrids, hasn't it? Rohale says Key really doesn't... Oh, what a strike that is! And Odegaard, he's some player, Odegaard. Honestly, I watched him for France in the under-19s in the Euros. He's absolutely top quality. Not the under-19s, the under-21s. He is absolutely top quality, Wilson Odegaard. Absolutely fantastic. He was phenomenal in the under-21s for France. And he's been a really, really good signing for Spurs. How much did they pay for him? Nearly 30 million. He is onside, and it's a fabulous finish. I think he goes on to be a really top player in years to come, you know, Wilson Odegaard. Like him a lot. Kolo Muani driving at the defence, gives it off to his right. Odegaard drills it in the bottom corner. That's the French connection. Spurs very nearly making it 2-2. Hey, we said this was a poor game. All of a sudden, it's come alive. Finners Matty says, why do you have to spell it out? Because if I say it, then the other place, TikTok, kind of... It's a very sensitive place, TikTok, mate. A very sensitive place. If you say certain things, everything drops and you get suspensions and all sorts. CRF says, did Randall score? No, it was Wilson Odegaard. Spurs pushing in the box, though. Chance. Strike. Blocked. Astroxy says, do you play FM? I don't, mate, no. I don't. Good claim that from Bezo. And now Villa try the counter-attack very quickly. And they're in. Good, really good important interception from Danzo. Marlon very nearly one-on-one there. It's end-to-end this stuff now. Finners Matty says, do you think Glasner is under pressure at Palace? I don't think he's under pressure. I just think he will end up leaving. Maybe resigning even before the end of the season. I don't know. He's a legend at the club and they'll want to end it in the right way. But it's quite obvious that it's just fizzling out there now. Spurs back in, it says Tony Peters, Captain Spurs says, I said early goal and comebacks on. That's it. Welsh Wing says, in case you didn't see, Key, the third player was Jorginho. Ah. Well, then that does make sense, yes. Rohill says, Creed, yes, I remember now. Ronaldo injured in early minutes, was in tears. Captain Spurs, I said 3-2. You did. You've always remained confident in your own team, in fairness. Yeah. Ben says BBC still talking when the ball was back in play, the melts. Oh, that's a naughty foul. That's a foul and should be at least a yellow card from Palhinha. It's not even Palhinha, it's Archie Gray. Egypt have gone in front. Egypt 1, Ivory Coast 0, and it's Omar Marmoush who's scored. Marmoush, 4 4 minutes in, he's absolutely shocking this tournament, but he's come alive in the first 4 minutes in that one. Egypt, Ivory Coast, the battle of who comes home between Liverpool and Man United. Is it going to be Amad Diallo or is it going to be Mo Salah? Come on, Ivory Coast. Egypt are 1-0 in front. I've got a feeling this one's going the distance. I think this one might go to penalties. Finners, Matty, you lie for Charlton, Chelsea. No, mate, I'm going to give that one a miss. Something tells me I think Chelsea are going to go in front quite early and it's going to be a bit of a drab watch. So, and plus that would be our third game of the day. And generally speaking, I have a rule that I only do 2. And if it's 3, then it has to be an absolute blockbuster to be 3. So, Charlton, Chelsea doesn't quite fit that criteria. Here's Spurs driving forward. Is Xavi Simons. Strike. Too easy that from Bezo. It wasn't Xavi Simons, it was Wilson Odobert. Good effort. Restart says every time Spurs have lifted the FA Cup, the season always has a 1 in it, bar one season, 66-67. So the stats say this year, no FA Cup, but next season. Kieran Ballard says, is the 3 players Mata, Torres, Azpilicueta for Chelsea in Spain 2012? No, it was Jorginho. The last one was Jorginho, Italy and Chelsea. But I believe Torres and Mata were correct. But not Azpilicueta. Welshwing says, watch it be 5-0 Charlton. Well, yeah. Knowing my luck, it will be an astonishing game. Charlton take an early lead, and then I've got to justify missing what was inevitably a great game. But I can live with that. I don't think it will be though. Ben says, reminds me of 2010 World Cup Stadia, and Joe Key, how's the family? Family's good, mate. Ro Hill says, I was watching an old FA Cup final recently, 97 final. Di Matteo scored a worldie for Chelsea against Borough. Remember it well. I watched that game live. John T says, Egypt v Ivory Coast predictions. I think Ivory Coast go through. Rohale says, the old Chelsea kit with the Cause logo, a more likeable club in my opinion. Creed says, Key, what was the first World Cup you can remember and who won it? Mine was 2006, Italy v France. Mine is 100% France 98. I adored football by that point. I was just too young for World Cup 94. I remember it. I remember watching bits of it, but it doesn't, like, I remember I've watched games of it back since in the years later, but I was obsessed with football. By the time World Cup France 98 swung round, I was absolutely obsessed with football. And I remember getting we had like a World Cup annual bought, and it was like this big. It had all the key players in for all the teams. I remember I could basically memorise. I could tell you all the great players of all the sides in the France 98 World Cup, from Tony Polston from Austria and Bogdan Stelia, the goalkeeper for Romania, and all these fabulous players who played for just random nations. But I was obsessed with it, absolutely obsessed with it. And yeah, France 98 was phenomenal. Plus, FIFA brought out France 98, and that had a killer soundtrack. Everyone loved FIFA France 98. It's just a great time. Definitely France 98. Joel says, Voltamada's son player finally played him in the 10 today, and oh boy, did he deliver. Didn't deliver a penalty kick though, did he? Twisted Fate says, they're looking shaky first few minutes, Key, but Ivory Coast will grow into the game. Egypt need to try and prevent that. Villa pushing forward here. Edge of the box, Buendia. Into Marlon. Marlon, chance. Straight into the keeper. Welshwing, that France team in 1998. France team in 1998. So that was Barthez, wasn't it? Then they had Lizarazu. Leboeuf. Blanc, come on, Key, not Blanc. Leboeuf, Blanc, and who was the Lecheram? Of course it was. Midfield was Petit, Zidane, Christophe Dugarry, Djorkaeff. Maybe Karambeu as well. Christian Karambeu. Everyone forgets him for Middlesbrough. He was a fabulous midfielder, Christopher Karambeu. And then centre forwards was obvious. It was Thierry Henry. Actually, didn't Stefan Givash of Newcastle play quite a lot at the World Cup? Or I think he got the move to Newcastle after the World Cup. But there was Henry, Givash, Wiltord, of course, played as well. Who else am I missing at centre forward? Come on, Key. Anelka didn't go. Did Anelka go to the 98 World Cup? I don't think it was, I don't think he did. Trezeguet. Fucking Trezeguet. No, Trezeguet was Euros. Did Trezeguet go to the 98 World Cup? Remember him at the Euro 2000. He was brilliant. Flick on near post. It's going to go out for a corner to Spurs. Patrick Vieira. Of course, yeah, Patrick Vieira. I'll have a look at the France 98 World Cup squad to see if there's any standout names that I'm missing. Missing a fair few from the 11 that I've wrote down, but... So, France... Bernard Candelar. Do you remember Vincent Candelar? He's played for Roma and he ended up getting a move to Bolton. Vincent Candelar, yeah. Patrick Vieira, Didier Deschamps. Not even mentioned Deschamps. Marcel Desailly. Oh, Robert Pires. Bernard Diamed, of course. Played for Liverpool later. Trezeguet did go, but he was aged 20. I don't think he even got a kick in the tournament. He was not really old enough by that point. Yeah, Marcel Desailly though. Should have got Marcel Desailly. McGinn gives the captaincy over to Ezri Konsa and he's getting taken off the pitch here. Ben says, I bought a FIFA 98 on PS1 in a charity shop. Used to play it a bit. Great soundtrack. Yeah. He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. Finners Matty says, what kickoff times are you doing for the World Cup? Up to now, any ones that aren't like 2 in the morning. I'll do some of the later ones, but I've got to be cautious with it. Plus, I actually might not even be in the UK by the time it happens. So, depending on how things go, I might be living in Europe by that point. We'll see. I might not be in the UK, so basically I might be an hour further along, which means if it's a 9 o'clock kickoff, all of a sudden it's a 10 o'clock kickoff for me. So it's a 12 o'clock finish, and I've got to be, I don't know. Got to remember I've got a little girl. Josh says, just need Colo, shot on target, and Villa qualify. Louis Sahar says, Liam. Louis Sahar didn't go to the World Cup 98, no. Don't think he went to the Euros either. Spurs strike. Oh, it's going to be a corner, is it? No. Villa win it back. Grimsby 2, Western Supermare 1. Rohale, I watched England-Argentina live in June 98. Peak Michael Owen. Pete AFC, good to see you, Pete. What player won the Conference, League 2, League 1 Championship, FA Cup, League Cup, UEFA Cup, Champions League? What player won them all? I know there was a player who's played in them all, and I'm pretty sure that's Steve Finnan. I don't know about won them all, though. Steve Finnan, I think, played in them all for us. But won them all? That's a very good question, Pete. Yeah, played in them all. I know, but I think won them all. I couldn't tell you. Won the Conference, won League 2, League 1 Championship, FA Cup, League Cup, UEFA Cup and Champions League. That's a fabulous question, Pete. Yeah, you'll have to let me know the answer to that one. I'm not sure. Struggling on that one. Ro Hale says, Dennis Bergkamp also superb control and finish against Argentina. Yeah, couple of great Dennis Bergkamp goals. Creed, are you going on holiday or moving away? Well, hopefully the latter. Yeah, hopefully the latter. Joe, how come you're leaving the UK? Key saying telling Tony Soprano days well behind you now. I'm fleeing the mob. You got it. Did Steve Finnan win them all? I didn't know he won them all. I know he played in them all, but Steve Finnan certainly did play in them all. I didn't know he'd won them all. Like it. Yeah, good question. I only it's only because I've heard it before, so I probably should have abstained from answering that and give other people a chance. I apologise, but yeah, Steve Finnan, great question that, innit? There was a similar question to that, who scored a hat-trick. Which player has scored a hat-trick in the National League, League 2, League 1, the Championship and the Premier League? That's another one that a lot of people have heard before. Spurs in the box, chance for Spurs. Oh, good defending from Villa. They just crowded him out. CRF, are you abandoning ship? I'm certainly abandoning the UK, yeah. Josh says, why Spurs badge covered up? It's not covered up, no, it's just all white. It's all white. Yeah, it's a tribute to the Spurs kit of 1901 or something like that. The last time, I don't think it's the last time Spurs won the FA Cup, but it's the first ever FA Cup winning side. There you go, Kieran Ballard got it. It is, yeah, Rob Earnshaw. Pete says Forest Green, Fulham and Liverpool. Very good question, that. Yeah, Rob Earnshaw is correct. Joe says, I don't blame you, to be honest, the country's a mess. But it's just something we've wanted to do for a long time. Yeah. And, yeah. It may be able to happen at some point this year. We'll see. Don't do a Captain Concordia. What, sink the ship? Absolutely not. We won't be going by ship anyway. We'll be flying with. Oh well, actually no, we won't be flying because I've got to get my dogs over. So I'd have to drive. I'm going to be doing a road trip across Europe, driving through 3, 4, maybe even 5 countries. I don't know yet. Whatever makes you happy, Key. This is the good thing, is you can do this from anywhere. It doesn't really change anything. You guys might not even notice a difference. I'll still have these guys behind me, and I'll still have the same overlay. I'll just have a bit of a tan going forward. Creed says, nice one, Key. Good luck on the move, mate. Listen, I'm hoping it's this year. It might not be this year. It might be a little bit further on. It depends on a multitude of factors. But I'm hoping for this year. Villa heading it wide. 70 minutes on the clock. Spurs still pushing. Kieran says, which country are you moving to, mate? Again, TBC. Looked at Italy, looked at Greece, looked at Turkey, looked at Spain. These are sort of things are all relatively the same in all of them. But yeah, we're not entirely sure just yet. To be honest, we don't have to be, because the plan is that we go there and see how it is and see how we like it. It might end up being that we're a bit of a... we might travel about and stay in 3 or 4 different countries. Might end up being that we try all 3. I'd quite like to go and do Croatia for a spell, but maybe we do 3 months in each. Pete says, do you use OBS? I've used Streamlabs, I've used OBS, I've used what's the other one, StreamYard, but they all... Spurs with a chance, corner, unlucky. Yeah, there's all dropouts with all of them. The frame rate drops out quite a lot of the time. Jaden says Toon, Black and White Army, and Joe says I'd recommend somewhere like Norway or Denmark. Hope everything goes well for you, though, mate. Bloody legend. I'd love to go. To be honest, Scandinavia. We went to Denmark. Copenhagen's beautiful, but very expensive. Very, very expensive. And I went to Sweden. I wasn't a massive fan of Sweden. Spurs, strike. Kieran says, what would be your preference? Honestly, I'm open to trying different places. I'm not really that fussed. I loved it in Greece. Quite a few nice places in Greece. Unlucky. Yeah, I'd quite like to go and try Croatia. Isaac says, been to Croatia and it's amazing. Jabbert says, not sure Key fancies getting conscripted in Russia. You know me so well. Yeah, no, I won't be getting conscripted anytime soon. Flea conscription. Ro Hale says, I'd move to New Zealand. Not the best weather, but absolutely stunningly beautiful. Yeah, I see. I'm not a fan of planes. Not a lover of planes. I can fly. I've been on planes. I can do it. Like, I just don't enjoy it. So if I was flying somewhere, I'd rather not be like a long haul thing. I don't enjoy the whole experience. I mean, then again, nobody really does, do they? Villa it in, should be off the line. Oh my God, nearly 3-1. Nearly 3-1. CRF says we might see you on some drone footage if you move. God. Pete says, did you say you were going to the World Cup? No, definitely not. Can't go to the World Cup. I was asked about whether or not or what times I would be doing the World Cup. And I will be I will be streaming the World Cup games, but I stream every game. Or I stream every day. So I'll still be streaming every day, even during the move. The plan is that we do a drive across Europe. And we drive from where we are now in the northwest of England, drive all the way down to, I don't know, maybe to Plymouth and get the ferry over to Bilbao and then drive down through Spain. Or maybe drive down to London and get the Eurostar over to Paris and then we can drive through France. See, don't know yet. But yeah, I'm not going to the World Cup. Malaga is a very nice place. Malaga's beautiful. Yeah, been to Malaga 20, 30 times, honestly. That's one of the places I half grew up, I guess. We used to go on holiday there every 6 months, it felt like. Creed, I'll be sticking here unless I can get my mum to join. Well, that's the beauty. That's where we are, mate. Yeah, we've got family joining us, so we're not doing the journey alone kind of thing. That's the beautiful thing about it. Rohale says, I loved it here in England, but I'm desperate for sunlight. Lack of it has just destroyed the person I was. Yeah, it's a very real thing, isn't it? In winter, no sunlight absolutely tanks your state of mind if you're not careful. Villa into the box, Spurs get it away. But yeah, Malaga, beautiful. Been all along the coast there. Benalmádena, Fuengirola, Torremolinos. Even down to Nerja. Seville is my my favourite place in the whole world. Love it to bits. Pete says, my sister lives around the corner from where the final is. Nice. Are you going to get out there yourself then, Pete? Get out there. Get the most of it. Why not? Cyprus is worth a look, says Rohale. Cyprus. I mean, I liked it in Greece. I really did like it in Greece. It's a bit too hot in Greece, though. There's some people who say there's no such thing as too hot, but there really is. There really is. It's absolutely shocking. If you fight, it's so hot in Greece. Jabba says, Key never makes it past France. Shows up on a stream with a beret, tash and a cigarette. Twisted Face says, personally, I couldn't live in the UK for any more longer than 10 years. Only thing keeping me here at the minute is my kids' education. Nothing wrong with that. See, my little girl's young enough that she's only kind of just entered the schooling over here, and it's still all colouring, and it's not the end of the world if maybe she misses 6 months and we do homeschooling and whatever. We maybe private tutor her for a bit, and then we get her into an international school wherever we end up. Liam, I've been to Rhodes in Greece. Rhodes is beautiful. Rhodes is gorgeous. That's where we went. Strike from Tielemans, good block. Last 15 minutes here. Spurs are away here, 1-on-1 if you can get to it. Good defending. Very expensive for the final, says Pete. I can imagine so. And 3-star says, I've just won 72 quid in this game. Rohale says, if I could move somewhere within England, it'd be Cornwall or the Peak District. Both gorgeous. Peak District's beautiful. My missus has never been to Cornwall. I said I wanted to take her down to Cornwall before we go anywhere. Dane Scarlett's about to come on for Spurs. Last 15 minutes. Says, will Trump be getting his hand on another trophy? I imagine he'll be at the final. Yeah. Martin into the box. Good defending that. Really good defending from Pedro Porro. And Spurs pushing up the other end of the pitch to try and get back into this. That's a foul, ref, surely. No, he's not giving it. Villa into the box, pull it back, claim for a corner. I think it's going to be a goal kick, that one. Joe, you could move up to Gateshead, Key. Yeah, let's go and watch a Gateshead game together, me and you, mate. Liam says Cornwall's a lovely place. Cornwall's beautiful. It's like the French Riviera, but in England. Plus, you get a lot more warm weather drifting up there from kind of south of France and Spain, Portugal. Philippine says, what is your favourite position to watch or has the best players? Zizou is my GOAT. In my opinion, it's the 10. I've always liked centre mids. The centre of the park, Steven Gerrard, engine, physical, can spray the ball about, can arrive late in the box, win a tackle. Yeah, captain fantastic, all action type of midfielders. Pete says Cornwall's lovely. We went to Devon. That was the place we went to. North Devon was the last sort of UK staycation we went on because it was a bit too spenny, bit too expensive to go otherwise. And we went to North Devon. That was very nice down there. Bit cold, but it was lovely. 92 FC. If the Scottish Highlands had weather like Spain, it'd be perfect. Yeah, do you know what? Scotland is, even parts of Wales. Scotland and Wales are gorgeous places. Like, truly, truly gorgeous places. But it's just too cold for the most part. And again, too expensive. And the UK is going to pot, let's be dead honest. Sarah says, the only place I'd live in Europe is Portugal, maybe Germany, but they're just in a mess like the UK. There's nowhere that's perfect, is there? There's certainly nowhere that's perfect. It feels like the UK is going down faster than a lot of places. Spurs are in here. Could be 2. Could be 2-2. He's got to do it. He's done it. Have they won it? Oh, he's offside. Oh, no. Xavi Simons, he could have equalised there. Is he onside? He's off. He's miles off. He's miles off. Rohale says, Wales has amazing castles. And CRF says, hot climate is comfort, cold climate is healthy. Cold climate is healthy. I'm not sure, we went to Iceland. Not sure I would agree that the cold is not healthy in Iceland. It was bloody awful. Devon's beautiful. And Terry says, can't beat a proper Cornish pasty. Again, I've never had one. You won't believe it to look at me, but I genuinely have never had one. Pasties and that sort of give me heartburn. Terrible heartburn. I Am Crute says, England is criminally underrated as a country. I live in Lincoln and it's gorgeous. Hidden gem. Yes, I would echo Lincoln around that way. Is very, very nice. But yeah, again, UK going down the Swanee. Creed says Edinburgh is my favourite place in the world. Been to loads of countries, but Edinburgh is the one for me. And CRF says as long as you're not wearing shorts in Iceland. We ended up... Where did we end up staying? Keflavik. Keflavik we were in. Oh my God. But the air is fresher in colder climates. Yeah, the blue... I mean, the Blue Lagoon and the waterfall, went to Gullfoss and stuff like that. It is beautiful in Iceland as well. Pete says South Coast is good. Do you know what? I'll go as far as saying this, Pete. I think there's beauty wherever you look. If you're looking for it, then honestly, you can go to the Lake District, just not too far from where I am. The Lake District is gorgeous. The Peak District is beautiful. There's parts of everywhere really that you can look at. So it's an absolutely gorgeous place to go for a nice walk or to stay in a nice cottage or somewhere like that. There's gorgeous places wherever you go. Just depends what... Look at Leeds. Honestly, if you go just north of North Yorkshire. North Yorkshire's gorgeous. Beautiful parts of North Yorkshire. Big swooping moors and everything. Gorgeous countryside. Spurs over to the far side. It's straight out of play. Last 10 minutes here. Rohale says UK has long since lost what it was. I really miss the old UK. And CRF says, Sura, 100% the good stuff. 92FC says, Northumberland has amazing beaches when you do get good weather. It looks stunning. Well, we went to the Solanke's about to come on here as well as Jed Spence for Spurs. Maybe the last throw of the dice from Thomas Frank. We went to, is it Woolacombe Beach, which I believe is literally ranked the #1 beach in the whole of the UK. It's in North Devon. We stayed near there, and it was gorgeous. You can have dogs on the beach and everything. It's a massive beach. They have surfers there and everything. It's really, really lovely. It was dead cold the day we went, but it was gorgeous. Yorkshire Dales is classic England. I love it. And hey, Key, ever been to Benidorm? I've not. It's one of the places, not refused to go, but I wouldn't. It's not really my scene, Benidorm. And I don't mean that in like a stuck-up, snotty way. I've got epilepsy, right? So flashy lights in bars and nightclubs and all that, it's never going to be my scene. I can't do it. I can't do it. So in the nicest possible way, Benidorm is like a waste of time for me. Same as Ibiza would be. And anywhere that you're going for a piss up in a nightclub is just it's a non-starter for me. Can't do it. Can't do it. So yeah, I'm certainly not stuck up or snotty. I'm about as working class as it gets. And I love Blackpool. But for the same reason, once it gets dark in Blackpool, it's very flashy. Not good for an epileptic, really. Jabba says, no one ever talks about Hull. To Hull and back. Great Only Fools and Horses episode. Sarah says, Bood is beautiful. See, Bood I've only ever really heard of for the little girl who died there. That's whenever I hear about Bood, I always think of that. Terrible. Was it McPhail? Thingy McPhail. Awful. Absolutely dreadful, that. Sorry to sour the tone. CRF says, think about it. What does a fridge do? Food preserves. If you leave food in the heat, it goes mouldy and dies. By this logic, move to Antarctica. Yeah, it also maybe suggests that cold showers are the way forward. Stuart Carr says, has the second half been good? Not really. We've spent most of the second half talking shite about great places to work. Oh, Pedro Porro's fuming here. There might be a yellow card and maybe even a red card. Whoa, Paulinho kicking off at Tielemans here. Craig Pawson's got a bit of sorting out to do. Sarah says, nah, you'll be coming out with a fit to start again. I know. Yeah, that's it. It's a waste of time. Ro Hale says, Blackpool was a major tourist hotspot in the 70s and 80s. It's lost its charm. Again, poverty, crime, drugs, it's all... And that's not just Blackpool, sadly. That's a lot of parts of England, unfortunately, that's gone down that way. Jabba says, I visited Blackpool based on recommendations. I did not go at the right time. It was awful. It depends when you went. When I grew up, we used to go to Blackpool. Lovely. Now, less so. It's suffered a lot recently. Creed says, my dad's took me loads of places. America, Cuba, Cyprus, Greece. My mum just Benidorm. Benidorm about 3 times. She bloody loves Benidorm and goes every year. My mum and dad's the same with Blackpool, funnily enough. They love going on a little trip to Blackpool. Egypt 2-0. I Am Crew says, you don't hear Carragher, Neville and Drury talk about the best places to visit around the country. I know, look at Key doing his bit for tourism in the UK. That was a fair challenge from Paulinho. Straight out of play from Spurs. It's poor. We're into the last 5 minutes here. Creed, poverty, crime, Blackpool FC, Blackpool fans, gross. Stuart Carr says Liverpool should win on Monday. Do you think so? Liverpool v Barnsley, Monday night. Got the small matter of Man United Brighton tomorrow, plus the Real Madrid Barcelona Supercopa de España final. So we've got 2 massive games tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join me for them. If you're new around here, give us a like, all that good stuff. Give us a follow. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Egypt's second will was scored by Rami Rabia. It was assisted by Mo Salah. Rami Rabia plays for Al Ain in the United Arab Emirates. He used to play for Al Ahly, which is the kind of biggest club in Egypt, depending on who you speak to. Rohale says Blackpool is affordable and worth a visit in daylight. Twisted Fate says that midfield has been atrocious for the Ivory Coast. And Reese says, did you know the Macclesfield manager is Wayne Rooney's brother? I wasn't sure, you know. Yeah, I wasn't sure that was the case. I heard the name Rooney, but I wasn't sure if that is exactly if there was a family relation, but allegedly so. Iron Crew says, your best mate popped up on my FYP after the Palace. Honestly, there's no beef there. There's no beef. I've spoke to him. I've no problem with him. He's just he just seems to be insufferable with everyone. And to be fair, I only respond. Someone in the chat said I hate him. He's a pain in the backside, and I was like, he's a little bit insufferable to speak to at times. And it was just interesting that many others had the same experience with him. But there's no beef with him. Rohale says, I hope it's alright talking about these locations because I've not been discussing football for several minutes now. You're not the only one. Game's been crap second half. Spurs scored and we thought they'd get back into it, but Villa have done very, very well to shut the game down. It's been a bit of a drab end to this game, if we're being dead honest. It's been a poor end to this game. Jabba says, late September, about 4 o'clock, cold, windy, everything closed. Yeah, well out of season. Well out of season. You can't even go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach and go on the big one or anything then, because it's usually too windy. They shut all the rides. Cambridge 2, Birmingham 3. Yeah, Cambridge potentially on a comeback there. Still time for Cambridge maybe to pinch a late equaliser. Villa giving the ball away. That's a good tackle from Spurs. 92FC says, is the supercomputer broke? He's not broke. I just think he's doing his own thing. And also, he's been proven and called out for not being 100% accurate. It's a very bold claim, isn't it? From our friend who comes in regularly to say that he is able to accurately sort of prophesise these matches and... He knows the outcome well in advance and all that stuff. That to me it's bizarre, but he claims that he knows it. And then when he gets it wrong, he's going to get called out. It's a big, bold claim, isn't it? Stuart Carr says, I might be in the chat tomorrow. Hopefully so, mate. Yeah, come, listen, pop in as and when you can. It's always lovely to see you. Philippines, if you're more, are you staying with Rangers or going back to Spurs? Definitely staying with Rangers. I think if you're Spurs, you want him to stay with Rangers. He isn't going to get a game at Spurs. He's not going to get a game at Spurs. It must be better to stay at Rangers and get more minutes and more time and develop and learn and grow. It's much better for him to be at Rangers. Buendia, good tackle by Spurs. They win it back. Kolo Muani inside. Over to the far side. It's going to be a free kick to Villa. Craig Pawson is not winning any friends at Spurs today. Pau Torres went down under a challenge there from... That wasn't a foul, that from Dominic Solanke. That was not a foul at all. Will says, can you see Ivory Coast getting back into this? I can't, mate. I really can't. From what I can see, they're 2-0 down. They're not really going to be... They're not flying, are they? 92FC, I tried to find the supercomputer channel, but I couldn't. He posted in here, to be honest. He posted in here during his predictions, I guess. So, you'll see it. You will see it if you're in when he does it. Twisted Faces, every time Ivory Coast look dangerous, there's always one white shirt in the box and like 5 reds. They're defo getting the hairdryer treatment at half time. Well, there's 4 minutes of added on time here. We're in basically 60 seconds. I'm Crute, Prime versus Prime Premier League boxing match. Well, hang on a minute. Listen, if there are boxing matches involving me, then I imagine it's Bevo first in the queue, then it's Jonathan Morley next. If we're talking order of being called out. Bevo calling me out was And calling me out on multiple videos as well, by the way, Bevo. Twisted Fate says, every time, we've done that one. Jabbert says, Pawson's not here to make friends. No doubt. No doubt. Rohale says, Solanke hasn't done much for ages. He used to play for us at Liverpool. He's been injured a lot of the time at Spurs. He was a big signing for Spurs. 60-odd million quid, wasn't he? Villa, in down the right-hand side. It's going to be a corner. Will says, never knew Bevo called you out. Oh, yeah. On multiple videos. Said basically the same comment as well. It was crazy. Someone tagged me in it. It might have been, I think it was Joe. I think Joe tagged me in it. He was like, Key, look at this. And Bevo had commented on one of the videos. Someone else had clipped me up and posted it. And Bevo had commented and said, who's this Simon Wilson lookalike? And then a completely different channel, a completely different clip, he'd added another comment saying, why does this guy look like Simon Wilson? I was like, dude, it wasn't that funny the first one, but he's dropped it again. So yeah, I got called out by Bevo for how I look as well, which is, I mean, listen, I'm no oil painting. But if Bevo's calling you out, it's a new low, I think, for the channel, that one. Rohale says, I've no idea who this Bevo is, but sounds a bit unsavoury. Google him, mate. He's a handsome fella. What a weird man. Generational Gooner says, how long have you been doing YouTube and TikTok? About 12 months. Yeah, I created the channel in like December 2024, but I didn't really start posting until about February of 2025, so little under 12 months really since I started really posting. I think I did my first live in February. 1 minute left for Spurs. Twisted Fate says it's 2-1. Generational Gooner, was it Terry Flewer's clip? Terry, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that clip, no, but Terry Flewer's on the terrace he's put me on a few clips, and to be honest, he's asked me to go on Terry Flewer's. He messaged me and said, what did he say? Do you want to be part of the terrace? Or words to that effect. Yeah, Ivory Coast have got one back. It was an own goal from Egypt. Fatu with a goal. Last 60 seconds or so for Spurs. This is going to be the last chance. Jed Spence flying down the right-hand side. Spurs have got 5 in the box. It's got to be a good ball in from Spence. Got to get the ball in right. Loses it. Villa win it back, and it's going to be a free kick to Villa, is it? Is it going to be a free kick to Villa? Archie Gray wins it back. Archie Gray, give it off. What are you doing? And now Villa on the counter. Spurs win it back. It's still going on here. Still going on. Randall Kolo Muani. Ball in. Oh. Villa clear it away. Got to get it forward. No time to dally now. You've got to get it in the box. I think the referee's going to blow in a minute. Hung up. Villa head it away. Spurs really haven't got long here now. Villa pick the ball up. They've got to finish it off here. Villa dancing into the box. Bit of defending. Good defend. It's cleared away. And it is full time. Tottenham 1, Villa 2. Game over. Tottenham crash out with a cup. Thomas Frank under intense pressure and growing. I've got to say, I am Cruz as I came across Bevo on a website I never wanted to see him on. Aye, what were you doing there? Hey, it's kicking off here. Spurs and Villa kicking off at full time. Whoa, hey, oh. Oh, hey, Morgan Rogers flying in. It's all kicking off here. It is all kicking off. Dominic Solanke shoving Morgan Rogers away. Polina's absolutely raging. Those Spurs players have shown more fight in the last 30 seconds after the game has ended than they have all game. What is going on here at full time? There's stewards on the pitch. All the goalkeepers are up. Everyone's on the pitch here. Not entirely sure who's actually rowing and fighting here now. Just seems like handbags. Some old Bob still think Thomas Frank should stay on. I do. Well, listen, I think Thomas Frank deserves more time. I don't think you sack a manager 4 months, 5 months after appointing him, I think Spurs were in a bit of a mess when they appointed him. I think they need to recognise that. I think he's a steady manager, and it will take time. If you keep getting into this cycle of sacking managers and hiring managers, sacking managers, hiring managers, it's not good. It's not good. Spurs need to pick someone and stick with them and give them time. And I think Thomas Frank is as good as they're going to get. So I don't know. At some point, the board are going to have to decide stick or twist. And I don't think twisting is a smart thing to do. I think they should give him to the end of the season and see where the land lies. They're not in any danger of going down. Obviously, they're not going to win the FA Cup now. But they can maybe still do okay in Europe. Let's see how less games in the FA Cup affects them going forward. They've not got a massive squad. They might yet reinforce in January. I think they've got to give Thomas Frank to the end of the season, in my opinion. Jasper Spurs says there's nothing to this season, mate. Well, to be honest, there's nothing to this season for a lot of teams. Man United, I think, are going out of the Cup tomorrow. They're already out the League Cup. So, yeah, and a lot of United fans are unsure that they should have sacked Ruben Amorim. I don't think Spurs should be in a position where they're sacking the manager. I really don't. Jabba says Wolves and Forest would like a word about reactionary sackings. And Rohale, you can't keep sacking managers unless things have been in a swamp for ages. You see some fans, when the club loses even one match, they want the manager out. That's because, do you know what, it's nearly always, in fact, under 25-year-olds in my experience. Not always, but a lot of the time. If you're under 25, you're more likely to get the manager out. It's the manager's fault. Whereas I think once you've seen a few eras of managers, whoever your club is, you recognise the importance of patience and the effect of give the manager another 12 months and let him see how let him make some mistakes. And I think that's a big, big thing. Samoa Bob says, how do you rate Tottenham's roster? Is it 14th in the Prem or are they underperforming? I don't think they're any better than where they are. I think maybe a better manager, like short term, a better manager maybe could have got Spurs up to about 10th or 11th. I don't think this Spurs side don't go from where they are to top 6. And I think it would be unexpected for a team that finished 17th in the league last time to finish 6th this season. That would be astonishing for Thomas Frank, and it feels like maybe all Spurs fans aren't aligned on exactly where should we finish? Where are we expecting to finish? So, I think it's mainly a lack of alignment in expectations, and nobody really knows what Spurs should be, where they should be. I think they are a mid-table side, and I think they'll be a mid-table side with Thomas Frank. Twisted Fate says, we agree he should have been sacked. Shouldn't have been sacked, Key, but we don't agree that why he was sacked. Okay. That own goal by Egypt has opened up the game in the Ivory Coast game. And I Am Crute says, this is why I was hesitant on calling for Slot's head. I remember Roy Hodgson. Honestly, how funny is it after that one Arsenal game, how many Liverpool fans have shut up about Arne Slot? The team aren't playing for him. Yeah, well, they looked like it last night. They looked like it against Arsenal. Jabba says stability is vital. Give a new manager at least a season and don't hire a former Reds manager. Smart. Yeah, definitely don't hire previous managers of rivals, I think is smart. Mr. Sharpovich says the Spurs project has failed miserably. Only if the metric was that they were to win the FA Cup and finish in the top 6 this season, and I don't think it was. They've only failed by standards that, very high standards that I don't think everyone is holding them to. Like, I'm sure Spurs had a conversation at the start of the season and discussed, where do you think we should be this season? Where do you think we'll finish? Where do you think we should finish? Minimum. And where can we finish if everything goes right? If injuries are good and we don't get any bad suspensions and maybe this player hits some form and Xavi Simons adapts to the league seamlessly. Where could we be? Where should we be? And where can we not be anywhere below? I think the expectation, like minimum expectation for Spurs would have been mid-table, can't be lower than that. We could, with a good strong tailwind, maybe hit the top 6 and get in and around Europe, sort of top 6, top 7. But they're not gonna be. It's madness to think some Spurs fans think, oh, we should be winning. We should be winning the FA Cup. We should be, in the top 4. Don't behave yourself. You were 17th last year. Creed Van Crow says Spurs have no standout player. Kane, Son, Bale, Modric, that kind of player. And CRF says, nice one, Kane chat. I've got to catch the Chelsea game before it starts. Are you watching it? I will be watching it, but I'm not doing it live. I'm going to give the game a miss. But I will be live tomorrow. So if you are new around here, if you're new on the channel, you've never seen me before, my name's Key. I'm live every single day watching games of football, all different types of games. And we've got a great community of fans of all different types of clubs. They're absolutely phenomenal. Get in the chat, get amongst it. They're great guys in the chat. Guys and gals, by the way. On TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch. We're live across them all. And we're live tomorrow for 2 big games. Man United against Brighton, followed by Barcelona, Real Madrid in the Supercopa de España. I will be watching the Leeds v Derby County game earlier on, but I'm not going to go live for it. I am going to watch the Chelsea-Charlton game now, but I'm not going to be live for it. I will see you tomorrow. Tony says, catch up on the footy tomorrow. Jabba, very enjoyable watch-along. Glad to find you, channel Key. Looking forward to future watch-alongs. Good to have an Everton... Well, you know what? We've got a lot of good Everton fans. Shell is a regular in the channel as well. She's a hardcore Everton fan. Funnily enough, she found me in the Brighton game earlier this season. But, good to have you in, mate. Really good addition to the channel. You're a good guy. Like you a lot. Sarah Paget says, see you tomorrow. See you, everyone. I'll see you all. Take it easy. Have a nice Saturday night. Catch you in the morning. Take it easy.